Kickoff Show. Powered by kpreps.com and Sports in Kansas. The only statewide high school pregame show in Kansas starts now.
Good evening, football fans, and welcome to Week 10 of the Kansas Kickoff Show, powered by kpreps.com and Sports in Kansas, and presented by American Implement, Next Tech Wireless, and The Safe Project. Along with Matt Gilmore of kpreps.com and Chet Copeland of Sports in Kansas, I'm your host, Sean Boston, and it's great to have you along as we get you ready for the second round of the playoffs across the great state of Kansas. Here's how tonight's show will look. In our first segment, we'll preview the remaining 16 teams in Class 6A and in Class 5A, and then we'll step aside, and in our second segment, we'll talk Classes 4A, 3A, and 2A, and then in the final segment of tonight's show, we'll preview Class 1A as well as both 8-man Division 1 and 8-man Division 2. We'll break down each and every matchup in all 8 classes as we've reached the Sweet 16 in every classification. That's all ahead in tonight's Kansas Kickoff Show. All right, Matt, let's start in Class 6A. We'll start on the east side of the bracket. What sticks out to you there?
Well, a lot of good games. I mean, there's a lot of good competitive games lined up here. You've got Olathe North is probably the favorite, the second-ranked team in the state. They'll take on Olathe Northwest, who they shut out 37-0 just a couple of weeks ago. But really intriguing game there with that 4-5 matchup. Blue Valley Northwest hosting Blue Valley. Again, those two opened the season against each other, and Northwest beat them 24-17, a game that they led 17-0. Mikey Pauly, their outstanding quarterback, has had a great season, running the ball and throwing the ball as well. Good group of receivers there. And Blue Valley, had to move some parts around as some players didn't play and moved prior to the season. But Michael Solomon's been really good out of the backfield for them with over 750 yards rushing. You move down in that the bottom half of that part there, and Olathe West and Shawnee Mission Northwest should be a really good one. Olathe West, a team that has really challenged some people and is 5-3 on the year. But those 3 losses to really good teams, and obviously Lawrence, Olathe North, and Mill Valley. So really good team, and Shawnee Mission Northwest has been rolling with Ty Black. So, really good matchups up here, but I don't see really maybe any upsets. Maybe Blue Valley North over Olathe East may be the one that you can maybe circle there as the best potential upset on the top half of this bracket.
All right, let's move to the west side of Class 6A. Chet, we already know Lawrence, the Chesty Lions, have advanced to next Friday's state quarterfinals, and that's because Dodge City had to quarantine. But what else sticks out to you on the west side of Class 6A?
I think we're going to have some outstanding football games here on 6A West. Of course, one already decided, Lawrence over Dodge City in a forfeit. Dodge City, due to COVID reasons, of course, they won last week over Topeka High, and Lawrence right now in the driver's seat. I feel like that could be the state champion, although the path is not going to be easy. Derby and Gardner-Edgerton, that's going to be outstanding. That's in Derby. The winner gets Lawrence, who's already won by forfeit over Dodge City, as I mentioned. Junction City and Washburn Rural, I think that could be a very good football game. Of course, that was back in week number 4 of the season. Washburn Rural losing that 34-30. Andrew Corey over 2,300 yards this year. Marcelo Bussey over 1,000. Wichita East, the high-flying offense of them this year has been very impressive. And Manhattan, of course, has been up and down a little bit all year and defeated Garden City last week. So I think Wichita East could move on in this matchup. I think Junction City will as well. And I think Derby still will move on, but Gardner-Edgerton's played outstanding this year, surprising a lot of people. So some really good games in Class 6A on the west.
All right, Matt, let's move down to Class 5A, and sticking with the east side of things, what do you like there?
Yeah, there's some good matchups here as well. That top one there, you've got Topeka Seaman, the 1 seed, against Blue Valley Southwest, the 9 seed. But don't overlook that, because Blue Valley Southwest has been known to come into the 5A playoffs with less than stellar records, and then really kind of pulled the surprise and upset some people. And that's just because of the quality of competition in the EKL. Tanner Curry, their quarterback. I mean, here's a guy who's thrown for over 3,600 yards in his career and is having another nice season this year as well. He's got obviously a great receiver in Tristan Everard. So this is a dangerous game for Seaman in this one. So we'll see how this goes. Pittsburgh is going to travel to St. Thomas Aquinas in that 4-5 matchup. I think the Saints will be fine in this one with a steady dose of Tank Young out of the backfield. That 2-7 matchup, though, DeSoto and Leavenworth, that was a really close game the first time around. It was tied late, and DeSoto ended up pulling out that 35-28 win the first time. But Jackson Miller's an outstanding player, and I look for the Wildcats to be dialed in and get that win at home against Leavenworth. And then Mill Valley, the 3 seed, will be a heavy favorite over Spring Hill, the 6, in that bottom half. So Mill Valley, in my opinion, still the class of the east side of 5A and probably all of 5A in general.
Chet, on the west side of Class 5A, a lot of very intriguing matchups in the Wichita and Hutchinson area.
I've said it all year. I think the power is on the west, and that is proven right now. Wichita Northwest taking on Heights this week. I think Northwest will be all over them in that one. I think Goddard and Capen's going to be an outstanding game, although I'm going to favor Capen in this game. They've really turned it on this year and have been impressive they're impressive in their loss to Bishop Carroll. That could have went either way. The closest game they've had in quite some time. Goddard has Kyler Simrad, who's been a very good quarterback for 4 years there. Hutchinson and Bishop Carroll. We didn't think that probably would be a highlighted matchup this year if we would have saw that on paper, and now it is. I think Bishop Carroll's playing as good as anybody. They won because of course, quarantine last week over Valley Center, and Hutchinson knocking off Newton. And Newton was a team that lost a lot of close games this year, but really improved with their offense. And Maize South, that is a rematch from earlier on this season. That was 42-38. That has the making to be an outstanding football game there. A lot of these games do for sure, but I think Capen and Northwest move on. But those other games, I'm going to take Carroll over Hutchinson, and I think it's a coin flip style of matchup in Maize South. So some really good games in Class 5A overall.
All right, we'll step aside and take our first break on tonight's show. We'll come back and we will talk classes 4A, 3A, and 2A in our next segment. And then in our third and final segment, we'll take a look at classes 1A, 8-man Division 1, and 8-man Division 2 here this Week 10 edition of the Kansas Kickoff Show.
Here at American Implement, we're proud to be part of the communities we serve, and that's the reason we support local youth through scholastic activities like FFA, 4-H band, and sports. We firmly believe that the right activity can bring out the best qualities every child has to offer, and we wholeheartedly want to support and be involved with that. It's part of our responsibility as a good neighbor, and we're proud to call your community our home also.
Fall is in the air, and so is a crisp new deal at Nextech Wireless. Loyal customers and newbies alike, trade in your tired old device, get a new phone on us. Stuck somewhere else? No worries. We'll pay off your contract so you're free to switch and free to choose your new free phone. So visit the right people with the right deals and get the best phone on the best network. It's time for something different. Nextech Wireless. Certain restrictions apply. See store for details.
Seatbelts Are For Everyone is a proud partner of the Kansas Kickoff Show. Seatbelts are for everyone.
When we do our safe observations at our school, almost everybody is on their phone.
A lot of students at the school and even adults always need to reply to that text or email or phone call or whatever while they're driving.
Having everybody focus on the road would be probably one of the biggest challenges we have.
I'd like to see a lot more people pay attention to what's going on.
I always do my best to pay attention. I'm not on my phone. I don't think any text message is as important as your life.
I think a lot of people are on their phone while they're driving to kind of keep up a social image when really, in the long run, it doesn't matter more than your life or the life of somebody else.
Here's farmer and landowner John Prue.
We purchased the land about 3 years ago, and there was an old farmstead on there with trees. We were going to clear the land so we could farm through it. We thought we knew where the pipe was, so we didn't call to get it located. The work on our property led to the damage of a light crude pipeline. Fortunately, no one was hurt, but it could have been much worse.
Never assume the location or depth of underground lines. Always call 811 or visit clickbeforeyoudig.com before you start work. A message from the Pipeline Operators for Ag Safety campaign.
All across the country, people are coming together to speed up what we can learn about health. The All of Us Research Program is calling on 1 million people to join us as we try to change the future of health. For your family, for future generations, for all of us. Visit joinallofus.org and find out how you can become 1 in a million.
If you're talking, they will hear you.
Why are we getting killed like this?
Kyle's not here. Got caught drinking beer in the park a couple of nights ago.
Really?
Yeah. 0 tolerance. He's out for the season.
Harsh.
Hey, he knew not to drink. We've made that clear to all of our kids, right?
No, not really.
Bill, if we don't tell them what we expect and why they shouldn't drink, how are they going to know?
Talk. They hear you. For more information, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
Welcome back to the Kansas Kickoff Show, powered by kpreps.com and Sports in Kansas.
And welcome back to the Kansas Kickoff Show, powered by kpreps.com and Sports in Kansas, and presented by American Implement, Next Tech Wireless, and The Safe Project. Get along with Matt Gilmore of kpreps.com and Chet Copeland of Sports in Kansas. I'm your host, Sean Boston. It's a pleasure to have you along here as we get you ready for Week 10. It is the second round of the playoffs right here in the state of Kansas. All right, Matt, as we continue to move right along, let's go down to Class 4A, and we'll start on the east side.
Yeah, a lot of intriguing matchups here. That first one, though, you've got Paola as the 1 seed, top-ranked team in the state, and St. James Academy coming in as a sort of an under-assuming 4-4 team, but everyone knows that they're not. I mean, they've played an incredible schedule. It's an Eastern Kansas League team, but losses to Aquinas, Bishop Miege, Blue Valley, and Rockhurst this year. So obviously 4 really good teams. It's going to be a good game. Dakota Burrett and James White are outstanding players for St. James. Paola, of course, has the great backfield of Garrett Williams, a quarterback, Giovanni Blackie in the backfield, and Fletcher Audi. So it's going to be a good game. But if Paola can survive, then their path looks pretty good. But I think St. James is going to be a worthy opponent certainly there, and really going to provide a challenge. You go down here, Eudora with the upset over Piper last week. I think Baser Linwood should get that win and move on. Fort Scott and Bishop Miege. Fort Scott unbeaten in the 2 seed, but Miege is going to be a heavy favorite in this one. Fort Scott just hasn't played anywhere near the schedule that Miege has. And then Tonganoxie and Lansing is interesting. Lansing, a much improved team. Losses just to DeSoto, Baser Linwood, and then Platte County, Missouri. But Tonganoxie is playing as well as anyone with Tyler Bowden in the backfield and Blake Poggi at quarterback. So I look for the Chieftains to move on and have a huge matchup with Miege next week.
Chet, on the west side of Class 4A, a lot of unfamiliar teams advancing here to the second round and on the west side of Class 4A.
I've said it all year, guys. I think that 4A West is as wide open as it ever is, and we're going to have maybe some upsets this week. Maybe they're not upsets. I think McPherson will get by Augusta this week. Of course, McPherson Augusta played a few weeks ago. That was 32-14, and Dylan Rinkers played nice in his first year as a quarterback and a sophomore running back, and Jayden Gum has played big as well, and Aaron Powell at the receiver position, and Trey Buckby, and a solid defense, of course, after losing so many key seniors like Thrash last year. Then, of course, your Division I DN tied in to Kansas State and Cody Stufflebean. Rose Hill has been a nice surprise this year. Noah Baltikoff really leads them up front, and this is a team that's won 6 football games in a row after dropping their first 3. They're going to take on Buhler this week, and that could be a really good football game. And that Buhler won over Towanda Circle. I think Buhler probably favored in this. They beat Towanda in back-to-back weeks, but never count out Rose Hill. They've really improved this year. Quarterback play has been good. Andover Central takes on Ark City. I think maybe it was a surprise at Ark City all over Wellington last week because we thought maybe Wellington be a dark horse type of team. I think Andover Central will be favored in that. Chase White's been big at the quarterback position. David Sims out at receiver. They've won their last 4 football games in a row and very well coached by, of course, Derek Tuttle in his second year. Runner-up a year ago. El Dorado has been nice this season under Wes Bell. Their running back, the Wittenberg kid, has put up big numbers this year. They've won 3 in a row, and they've won 5 out of their last 6. So they are a surprise. They take on Wamego and Wes Moody, the head coach there, Weston Moody, that is. They've won their last 2 ball games over Abilene and Independence. The schedule kind of question marked them a little bit. I think that could go either way, but it'll be interesting because there could be a lot of these games. I'm calling for McPherson this year to get to their first ever state title. I know it's a long way, and they've been in the semifinals every year, but should be interesting.
We'll move down to Class 3A, and the big one up in the capital city is Topeka Hayden will host Perry Lecompton. A match that should be a good one on Friday night.
Yeah, it should be an outstanding game. Again, one that everyone had circled throughout the year, and, man, it lived up to its billing, too. A scoreless game until like a minute and 26 seconds or so left there a couple weeks ago, and then Hayden kicks a field goal to take a 3-0 lead, and they get a squib kick right after that, and they're trying to run out the clock on 4th down and break a touchdown run, and win it 10-0. But 2 outstanding teams. Again, really unfortunate that it's happening at this round, this early in the playoffs. This feels like certainly a state semifinal matchup, or perhaps even a state championship matchup. But Hayden very good at running the ball and had some success against Perry last time, but just an outstanding game, and it's really a toss-up. Girard, really the upset of the first round last week is that they upset undefeated Columbus 29-18. Ben Nigaman, Connor Oliveira really a good group going through Girard right there, and has put together a nice season. They'll have their hands full with a Prairie View team that can really run the ball with guys like Bodie Eisenhower and Otis Jacobs and Damian Klein. So that's figures to be a good one. Frontenac's got to go on the road, where they beat Burlington earlier this year, handed Burlington their only loss of the season, 28-12, and they're going to have to do it again because Burlington was the district champion out of that district, and the Raiders obviously not a super like I said, clean record, but played really good competition and a really talented team. And then Holton should be a heavy favorite against Baldwin. The Wildcats just have it rolling over 365 yards a game on the ground for Holton.
Chet, we moved down to the west side of Class 3A, and we've talked about how deep that side of the class is, and what do you look at in the second round of Class 3A on the west side?
Some really good matchups over here. Of course, Riley County, Scott City, Andale, Clearwater. I think that will be a good game, although Andale, I think, likely the favorite. Not likely, they are the favorite. They played them earlier on this year, beat them by 19 points in one of their closest games of the year, but Tanner Cash is the real deal, leading them over Holcomb last week. Southeast of Saline, nobody really talking about them. Marysville with an upset over Colby last week. Cheney with a comeback win over a very good Halstead team that was battle-tested over Collegiate. Will play Collegiate this week, so that has the making to be a really good one. Cheney, Collegiate, Marysville, Southeast of Saline. I'll favor Southeast of Saline there. Andale over Clearwater. And Riley County, Scott City, kind of a question mark game to me. Nick Allen has been the star for Riley County this year so far. A lot of good teams left in 3A, but to me, it all goes through Andale. And, I wish I got to preview the East to talk a little bit more about that Perry Lecompton Hayden game, because that to me is that state semifinal, even though we're going to see that this week.
Moving down to Class 2A on the east side, Matt, what sticks out to you there?
Well, a couple good matchups. Obviously, you've got unbeatens with Rossville and Mar Hill, Mount Academy, and Mar Hill, a team that's kind of been hanging around the bottom of our 2A poll and just dropped out last week, but a team that is, again, unbeaten, but sort of struggled and needed a fourth quarter showing to beat Mission Valley last week, 56-32. And, Mar Hill has the outstanding running back in Andrew Schwinn, who's over 300 yards and 6 touchdowns last week. He's over 1,800 yards on the season, but they're going to find tough sledding against Rossville. Rossville is just a team that's very talented across the board, obviously top-ranked team in the state, and just has talent everywhere. And so I think Rossville is really the favorite in that one to move on. They'll likely get either St. Mary's Colgan. Obviously, they take on Wellsville in what should be a really entertaining game as well. And then you look down a little bit, and Osage City's already advanced because Fredonia is under quarantine, and so the Indians still with one loss, but into the quarterfinals. And then that big game there, Silver Lake and Nemaha Central. Again, Nemaha Central's had to really overcome some second-round obstacles in the likes of Silver Lake and Rossville, and when they've had really deep playoff runs, including last year all the way to the state championship game. I think Nemaha Central lost a lot off of last year's team, but this is a very good team. But I think Silver Lake's really good as well with Dagan Kruger at quarterback, and they've got a lot of weapons around him. So I think this is going to be an outstanding game and one that can certainly shift the balance of power on the east side. But don't be surprised if Silver Lake goes up to Seneca and beats the defending champs in the Thunder in that game.
Chet, on the west side of Class 2A, we've already seen two teams move into the quarterfinals as Phillipsburg had to go into quarantine, so that advances Beloit into the quarterfinals, and then Cimarron, another team that had to go into quarantine, so Hoisington automatically advanced to next week on the west side of Class 2A.
Hutch Trinity and Haven, a rematch this week that was close, with Haven winning by a couple and Haven getting their first playoff win since the 70s the other night. Really cool. Darby Roper's been big for them this year. I think Beloit was a surprise all over Thomas More Prep last week, 55-14, because they'd lost their last 4 football games in a row. But Phillipsburg, Centralia, and Hoisington on that schedule. Also Minneapolis. Of course, it's going to be interesting to see really where that's at. Hoisington looks like they're getting the forfeit win over Cimarron, so a bit of a surprise to see that. I thought that had the making to be an outstanding football game. I feel like Garden Plain and Hillsborough could be a good game, although I'm going to favor Garden Plain. Beloit and Phillipsburg, Sides has played outstanding, over 1,300 yards rushing, a dual threat, and nice basketball player, of course, that we all know about that family. So there's a lot of wide open to Class 2A on the west. I think it goes through Hoisington, though, and this week Hoisington will get that forfeit win over Cimarron as we figure out some more developments on that, as I am just seeing that as we are recording today. So certainly interesting to see day by day how some of this stuff happens.
All right, we've taken a look at classes 6A, 5A, 4A, 3A, and now 2A. We'll step aside real quick, take one final timeout, come back and look at classes 1A as well as 8-man Division 1 and 8-man Division 2 as this Week 10 edition of the Kansas Kickoff Show continues.
Welcome back to the Kansas Kickoff Show, powered by kpreps.com and Sports in Kansas.
And welcome back to the Kansas Kickoff Show, powered by kpreps.com and Sports in Kansas, and presented by American Implements, Next Tech Wireless, and The Safe Project. Get along with Matt Gilmore of kpreps.com and Chet Copeland of Sports in Kansas. I'm your host, Sean Boston. It's a pleasure to have you along here as we get you ready for Week 10. It is the second round of the playoffs right here in the state of Kansas. We continue to move right along down to Class 1A. Matt, so what are you seeing on the east side of Class 1A?
Yeah, things have certainly changed because of the the forfeiture of Valley Heights a couple weeks ago, and a team that we thought again could challenge on the east side. You've got Olpe and Jackson Heights up top there, a rematch from a regular season game that Olpe won 35-0. I think the Eagles are obviously still favored in that one. Then you've got Uniontown and Northeast Arma. Again, Northeast is a team that hasn't won a game on the field this year, and Uniontown, those two in the same league, in the Three Rivers League. Uniontown are really a nice year, 5-4 on the year, and got some nice backs of Drew Perry and Trenton Buckman. So I think the Eagles will move on to that one. And then you've got Centralia and Wabunsee. That's a rematch from just a couple of weeks ago when Centralia, you got the ground game of Centralia against the passing game of Wabunsee. And their outstanding quarterback, Kate Oliver. But Centralia won that one 60-20 just a couple of weeks ago, and I think the Panthers, again, will be heavy favorites in that one. And then Linden and Jeff County North is really maybe the most intriguing of those matchups. You've got Linden, a team that's played really well, 7-2 on the year. So is Jeff County North. I mean, Jeff County North featuring an outstanding back in Landon Goodschenritter, who is over 1,100 yards, 24 touchdowns. He had a huge game last week with over 220 yards and 6 touchdowns in their big win over Northern Heights. I think Linden plays a little better competition, and I think the Tigers will be well-equipped and move on to a rematch against Centralia in the quarterfinals.
On the west side of Class 1A, Chet.
The West, I feel like, is a little bit deeper than the East. Of course, Smith Center really not getting that hype that they were a year ago. They beat Inman. They've also beat Plainville this year. They beat a very good Oakley team that's much improved, a Phillipsburg team. They did lose, of course, to Norton back in Week 1, but this is a team that is primed to get to a state championship. I feel like we're going to be talking about them in Sedgwick. Sedgwick, of course, plays Oakley this week, so that's going to be interesting to see if Oakley can really get their rushing attack going with Ethan Abell, who's got over 1,400 yards this year. The Kane kid, a nice quarterback for them. It all goes through Lance Hofsommer and Henry Burns offensively for Sedgwick. Burns, one of the top two-way players in Class 1A. Conway Springs taking on Plainville this week. Conway Springs only lost, came back in Week 1 by 1 point. So they are a team certainly in the mix here, as Plainville kind of an up and down season overall at 5-4. They've won their last 3 football games, so we'll see what happens in this one. Inman, I think, is so much improved this year. The Dirksen kid having a nice year, of course, out of the backfield for them. And this is a ball club that is 7-2 under Lance Sawyer this year. They lost to Smith Center in a tight one. They lost to a very good Hutch Trinity team in 2A back in Week 1 as well. So they are certainly in the mix here against Whitewater Remington, a team that has won their last 2 football games, but just 4-5 on the year. So I think Inman and Conway Springs going to be up, and I don't know, Sedgwick or Oakley. I'm going to take Sedgwick and their high-flying offense against Smith Center next week, so going to be interesting in 1A.
Right down to our 8-man ranks. We'll start in Class 8-man Division 1 on the east side. Matt?
Yeah, a couple of really intriguing games up top here, maybe highlighted by that Clifton-Clyde Little River rematch, a game that was played back in Week 2 at Clifton-Clyde, and the Eagles won it 42-36 in overtime. Again, they about won it in regulation on a Hail Mary, but in overtime, Aiden Rudolph, their outstanding back, scored, and the Eagles were able to get that 6-point win. So, 2 very even teams. Obviously, both of them are well equipped to make deep playoff runs, and it's a little unfortunate that they have to meet this early. Little River with the likes of Jayton Garrison and Graham Stevens in the backfield, and then I mentioned Rudolph for Clifton-Clyde. So I think it's really a toss-up game. Maybe Little River with a slight favorite, but again, when you look at Clifton-Clyde beating them the first time, certainly anything can go here. Chase County at Sedan's interesting as well. I think Chase County is a team that could go in and get this win, even though Sedan's unbeaten. Chase County's losses have come to Lebo, who's ranked in Class 8-man Division 2, and then Madison, who's the number 3 ranked team in the state. Sedan's had a really nice year and got some good athletes, but Chase County is a team that maybe is a bit underassuming, but a team that can certainly get to that next round. I think Madison's a heavy favorite over Oswego, and as you move down, you got the defending champs in Canton Galva that'll be be heavily favored over Burlingame. So shaping up to be, some big-time showdowns in the quarterfinals, potentially Madison and Canton Galva as they met last year, and Clifton Clyde or Little River, and against Chase County and Sedan, 4 teams up there, and any of those could make that run.
Chet, how about the west side of Class 8 Man Division 1?
You have Argonia and Attica A&A versus La Crosse. La Crosse's first year.
Everybody, and welcome to Gowans Stadium and another Salt Hawk football pregame show. I'm Glenn Grimwald, joined by Dan Nacarado, and we'll be joined by Joe Blake on the sidelines a little bit. Sarah Peterson's ready with all the video photography for HutchPost.com, and we're set to take on the Golden Eagles out of Bishop Carroll. And Dan, they're here to play in a regional football game.
It's a good matchup, which makes it a great night for football.
It is a great night for football. I ran across a song the other day. It's made for baseball, but it says it's a great day to play for a game. And I think they kind of stole that from me. That came from like 1960 or something.
Well, you better get me a name and an address.
I think we're going to have to do that. I might have to insert that sometime here in the near future. But, hey, it's regional football playoff action time right here at Gowans Stadium. Hutchinson, a winner, an exciting game, 11 lead changes in the game the other night against Newton, which Newton proved to be a really good participant in that ball game, but Hutchinson came out on top 46-41. There were some big highlights in that ball game. The first one was early on when Alec McEwen was finally able to get loose. It was the 61-yard romp for a touchdown, and it sounded like this. Thompson, the quarterback, man in motion. He's going to keep it now. The pitch out to McEwen. Has it at the 40, to the 45, to the 50, down to the 45, to the 40. Cuts inside, still on his feet at the 30. Trying to get down and cut inside again at the 5. Touchdown, Hutchinson. McEwen with an electrifying run. 61 yards total for McEwen. So that gave Hutchinson a lead early on with that Alec McEwen touchdown run. Then we had a fumble recovery in the end zone. With just a few seconds left, they gave Hutch the lead at halftime. Jack Harver was able to jump on the football. That was exciting. Emilio Martinez knocked it away, and it was a fumble in the end zone. Harver got the touchdown, the credit for the touchdown. Hutch led at halftime, 17-14. Then you turn around, and there was a score by Newton. They had taken a lead, and late in the third quarter of play, they kicked off in a 79-yard scintillating touchdown run by Peterson, which sounded just like this. Peterson back deep on the far side for the Salt Hawks. That's where the kick is going to come to, and he'll take it at the 21. Gathers it in, heads up the sideline, has some room. He's at the 40, to the 50, cuts inside the 40, down to the 30-yard line. It's going to be 6 as he takes it to the house. A big return by Creighton Peterson with 46 seconds left to go in the third period of play. What a return for 6 by Peterson. And from there, Dan, we knew that fourth quarter was going to be crazy.
It was game on. You know, the amazing thing is Jack Harver recovered a fumble in the end zone the first time Hutchinson and Newton played each other this season, and that one was in the second quarter also.
Yeah, really.
What are the odds?
Well, they're pretty good, evidently, if you're Jack Harver and he's able to find a football. But this is going to be a different game tonight. They all are when you get into the playoff action and you advance. And I'm just happy that we have a ball game going on.
These two teams match up so evenly against each other. We certainly expect it to be another one of many, a long string of entertaining Salt Hawk football games in 2020.
Salt Hawks just find a way to get it done. I think that's the best way to describe it this year. I was talking to somebody just before you and I met up to do the pregame here, and he said they just find a way to win, and with the exception of one game, and maybe it was one of those games that Hutch just wasn't ready. I think they'll be ready for the Golden Eagles tonight, and so will the Golden Eagles. They'll be ready for Hutchinson. Last these times the two teams met was in 2011 twice, and they split that year, and that was the year that Hutch went on to win a state championship. So that takes you back a little bit. You were involved with those games.
I was. It was always exciting to play Bishop Carroll because in 2011, both of those games were close. Hutchinson won the playoff game, which was the more important of the two as it turned out. The second time they played, Hutchinson won 29-21, and the first time they played each other in 2011, Carroll came out on top 32-24. But traditionally, Bishop Carroll and Hutchinson, they've only played each other 5 times, but when they play each other, it's a war.
Let's talk about the Bishop Carroll losses this year. They were close ball games against very good clubs.
I think Bishop Carroll played the most difficult schedule of any football team in the state of Kansas this year. They started the season with a 1-point victory over Junction City, very good team. Then they got a 3-point win over crosstown rival Capon. That was a great game. Then Derby showed that they flexed their muscles, and Derby took down Carroll 35-21. Carroll bounced back with a big blowout win over Dodge City, and then went to Lawrence. And if I had to pick today, I would say Lawrence is the best football team in the state of Kansas, high school football team in the state of Kansas. They got beat at Lawrence 37-28, came back and took on Bishop Miege and blew them out pretty much, 56-35. Bishop Miege, perennially the best team
in 4A and 5A.
That's right. Then their game against Valley Center was canceled due to Valley Center having some COVID issues. But before that game that was scheduled against Valley Center, so Bishop Carroll hasn't played for a couple of weeks, they blew out St. Thomas Aquinas 35-14. Now, the tough thing for Hutchinson is Hutchinson and St. Thomas Aquinas both run the same offense, and Bishop Carroll shut down Aquinas.
So that will be something that we'll need to watch early on. They're going to be very familiar with the flex bone and see what's going to happen there. But I'm excited for the game. I know you are as well, and it should be a good one. So that kind of brings you up to date on how Bishop Carroll got here and how the Salthawks got here as well. We're going to take a timeout. We'll come back and talk about these two individual teams a little bit more in depth when we return right after this.
Hey, honey, is this your course schedule for the fall?
Yep.
Let me see here. English, good. Chemistry, trigonometry, excellent. World history, I love world history. Baseball, wait, baseball? Baseball isn't a course, honey.
Well, sure it is, Mom. High school sports are about so much more than winning and losing. They teach lessons that can't be taught in a classroom, like accountability and self-discipline, the value of teamwork. I may not be earning a grade, but I'm learning how to compete later in life. Isn't that what getting a good education is all about?
Yes, of course it is. I was just testing you.
What can teenagers here in Kansas learn from participating in high school sports? Plenty, as it turns out. That's why they're called education-based athletics.
High school sports. They're so much more than just a game.
This message presented by the Kansas State High School Activities Association and the Kansas Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Welcome back. We're on the Salt Hawk pregame show, football variety, as we get set for Bishop Carroll and Hutchinson to clash tonight. Pretty good weather we've had throughout the whole season. It's going to continue tonight to be a really nice night. Could be some precipitation coming in on Sunday night and Monday that we'll have to contend with. But for tonight, it's going to be a pretty good night for football. A little windy, a little breezy, however.
Still a true test of Kansas high school football team. Sometimes the elements enter in and they skew the contest one way or the other. Don't really think that's going to be the case tonight.
You know, I talked with Coach Yantis on the Reno County Coaches Show last night. That airs every week, by the way, at 6 p.m. And Coach won his 200th game as a defensive coordinator in the Salt Hawk football system. 24 years is that span, and we just talked about the matchups and how he stayed pretty steadily with the type of defense that he wants to play throughout those 24 years and hasn't varied it too much. I was talking to you, and yes, he did say we'll spread them sideline to sideline. That's what he likes to do.
Well, that's the biggest difference in high school football today compared to 15 years ago. The offenses spread it out, and you've got to defend the entire field from sideline to sideline. Plus, you got to defend it vertically because they go up top with the passing game much more effectively today than they did 15 years ago.
All right, what are we going to see from Bishop Carroll? How have you broken it down? What are they going to do offensively?
They'll be in the shotgun. They have a very impressive quarterback at Bishop Carroll. He's in his third year as a starter. As sophomore year, he got thrust into action because the two quarterbacks in front of him when he was a sophomore both sustained injuries. So that put Aiden Needens into the starting role when he was a sophomore, and he's never let go of it. He had a really good season last year as a junior, has a good season going this year. He wears number 18. He makes everything happen. And next to him in the backfield, they have a very good running back who has some similarities to Hutchinson's Alec McEwen. It's Hunter Trail. That's the son of head coach Dusty Trail at Bishop Carroll. He's 5'7", 5'8", about 185 pounds, a very strong, very tough young man. And those are characteristics that I would also attribute to Alec McEwen. Very strong, very tough. I think McEwen might be just a little bit faster.
Well, he showed that speed on that 61-yard touchdown run the other day, which he has had many this year. I remember the 83-yarder is the longest one he's had, but he amassed 240 yards on 30 carries that are 93 TDs against a pretty good Newton defense. So we're excited to see that. So similarity-wise by way of him, and then maybe even similarity-wise by way of the quarterback to see how he matches up. Now, for the Hutch offense, what is the Bishop Carroll going to have to do to stop this pretty potent, as we found throughout the season as it's moved along, Hutchinson offense?
Been a very potent Hutchinson offense. The Bishop Carroll defense, they'll have their defensive line and their linebackers hopping around all over the place, and they'll put in various stunts, various blitzes. They're a gambling-type defense, and they can confuse an offense's blocking assignments the way pre-snap they'll keep moving around. So the good news for Hutchinson in the approach that Mike Vernon has taken with his team and Sean Harper, Adam Carroll, Travis Thurston, this year they pretty much go with 2 wide receivers and 5 offensive linemen. They don't have a tight end in the mix. That makes the blocking assignments a little bit more straightforward when you just have that unit of 5 offensive linemen. And a lot of times, no matter where the defense jumps around to, they know, hey, here's the steps I'm taking, and whichever defensive player that runs me into, that's who I'm blocking.
Coach ran the dive a lot last week, and he kind of indicated that he's going to maybe mix it up a little bit this week between the veer and the dive.
Yeah, I'll tell you, the thing that will be tough on Miles Thompson tonight, when you're running the option, you have a certain player that you're reading, and sometimes that gets a little tricky when the defense pre-snap keeps jumping around and switching positions.
And see who he's exactly going to read off of to depend on that option. He's done it so well. And you picked up on something last week that you noticed with Miles Thompson, that which direction he goes, considering he's a left-handed quarterback. What does he do that you're pretty surprised about?
Well, you asked a great question. I think the very first game of the year against Valley Center, he's a left-hander. Do you think he feels more comfortable going to the left on the option to make that pitch? And game 1, I would have felt like, most left-handed quarterbacks feel more comfortable going to the left. Right-handed quarterbacks feel more comfortable going to the right. Miles Thompson breaks the mold after watching him all season. He seems to be more comfortable running the option to his right, and his pitches tend to be more accurate when he goes to his right.
When he comes out of the pocket to the right side, of course, he's a lefty. He has to set up. He's done it twice. The other night was for 6 on the pass to scoring Peterson early on in the game. He also had another pass the week before against Campus that was exactly just about the identical play, where he has to kind of set that right foot, twist his body around, and he does it so smoothly and quickly that he really does a good job of getting set up to throw the pass rather than throw off the wrong foot, is what I like to describe it as, and not having as much oomph on the ball. The other night he just about overthrew Peterson. The week before he underthrew him, and it worked out perfect.
He has excellent footwork, Miles Thompson. When he rolls to his right, it's amazing how his footwork is so perfect to throw the ball with his left hand.
Let's talk about Zach Hogan a little bit. He's all of a sudden became, with Kokar out injured with the collarbone breakage, became pretty important at one of those slots, and he had a heck of a game against Campus, but he continues to improve on us, and Coach talked about how good a blocker he is.
Well, he really is a good lead blocker, as well as Anthony Blackwell, and we wish Noah Kokar a speedy recovery. We certainly want to see him be able to play Salt Hawk basketball at full strength before too long. Noah Kokar is an electric-type player that has the ability to go 90 yards on a play with his speed. So you definitely miss Noah Kokar. But, my gosh, Zach Hogan has stepped into the role, and he has got it done, whether it's blocking, whether it's running, whether it's catching passes. Had one of the biggest catches of the season on that third down conversion a couple of weeks ago that he caught over the middle late in the game against Mays.
Yeah.
He's a good player.
It was huge. Plus, he had a big run for a touchdown earlier around the left side, showed his speed as well. So injuries might be a little concerning on defense. Offense is pretty healthy. What do we know about the defense other than the loss of Kokar, of course? What do we know after this last week? We had some injuries.
Well, and they've all happened on the defensive side of the ball. Last week we noticed that Kinzer Newquist, the outstanding junior free safety for Hutchinson, had to come out of the game holding his hand. He has an injury. He will play through it, it appears, but you might not see him be able to go snag interceptions with both hands like he would like to do. But, you know, he's better with one healthy hand on the field than most guys are with two healthy hands. So Kinzer Newquist is going to try to play through that hand injury. He won't be able to be the holder on point after touchdowns, and I think Coach told you that he's got another player lined up for that.
Yeah, it's going to be Gabe I is going to come in and probably hold on those extra points. And the thing that he's going with that is he can work on it all week long, not have to practice. So that's Peterson's jumped in the other day and held it, but that was the one we missed, and we chased that point all night long the other night. And I think he just feels like Gabe can get it done, and also in case it's a bad snap, Gabe's the quarterback on the JV. He can run with the football.
Yeah, Gabe's a winner. He's a tough young man. And then Devin Hackney, I know all of Pflugerville, Texas, was waiting on the edge of their seats to find out what was going on with Devin, but he sustained an ankle injury last week in the game, but we expect him to play tonight. And another example of a tough young man. You know, tough describes this entire Salttalk football program.
Yeah, it really does. You just tape it up and go is what he's going to pretty much have to do. We're going to take a break, come back with the keys to the game. We'll be back with more right after this.
Looking for future leaders we can trust and believe in? Look no further than the high school student athletes right here in Kansas. High school sports teach young people how to be effective leaders. It begins by making their grades and being on time for practice. It includes learning to listen, following directions, accepting responsibility, being a good role model. And it's about respect for officials, opponents, the rules, and each other. The result? It transcends sports. It gives us hope for the future. High school sports. There's so much more than just a game. This message presented by the Kansas State High School Activities Association and the Kansas Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Oh, you can hear those keys are rattling right now. Knack has his keys to the game. And first of all, for the Bishop Carroll Golden Eagles, what's their keys to the game to come out with a victory tonight?
Well, I think it starts on defense for the Bishop Carroll Golden Eagles. They showed great ability to stop the flex bone against Aquinas on October 23 a couple of weeks ago. That defense is going to face a pretty tough challenge against that Hutchinson flex bone version of the Veer offense tonight. So if they can somehow confuse Miles Thompson a little bit with the way they jump around defensively, make it tougher for him to read the option, then Bishop Carroll could have some success. As a matter of fact, the last time Bishop Carroll beat Hutchinson, we were talking about those games back in 2011. The thing that gave them success is they were just defensively sacrificing their bodies and hurling themselves into the backfield and disrupting the Hutchinson offense. So I look for Coach Dusty Trail to try to use that same tactic again tonight. And if he's successful, then Bishop Carroll might have a good night.
And for Hutch, we talked about the simple things: take care of the football, don't turn it over, don't let penalties hurt you. At the same way, those defensive guys, I think Rodriguez is going to have to step up. Rayson Rodriguez, he's a sophomore. He's going to have to step up and play pretty good football. And Coach was high on Jefferson as well, as he's going to have to step up and fill some holes in that defensive line.
Yeah, it was good to hear Coach Vernon talk about how tough it is to block Jefferson. He's like a block of granite there on that defensive side of the ball, and it's tough to move him.
Yeah, and Rodriguez had some success with picking up the loose fumble. And that was a key part of the game that forced Hutchinson to be able to have the football late the other night on the win. So both those young kids, especially Rodriguez, should be pretty hungry to play some football. He gets his chance tonight.
He does a good job. Defensively for Hutchinson, I think their challenge will be stopping the running back Hunter Trail, because he's pretty good coming out of the backfield to catch passes too. And sometimes a running back, when he goes into the pass pattern, can be hard to
kind of get lost back there. And also, it's going to be interesting to see if they can stop McEwen. Not very many people have been able to this year. The closest one was leg cramps at Garden City when he only picked up a few yards, but he said, I had an outstanding year. So, well, we're ready. Joe's on the sideline. We'll check in with him in a second. Sarah's getting set for camera work tonight. We're so glad to have you along, which, by the way, you can go to the Facebook page of Salt Hawk Sports, Salt Hawk Sports on the Facebook page and watch this game. Or also you can go to HutchPost.com on the YouTube channel. Just go to YouTube.com, search Hutch Post, and all these games will show up, and we'll have those coming your way by way of the video along with our audio. So excited about that.
How many views did last week's?
3,500. 3,500 for the game, and about 1,800 to 2,000 for the highlights. And those are all on the Facebook page as well, and also on the YouTube channel. So take in some Salt Hawk football, and we wish them luck tonight. We're going to get set for the regular pregame portion from Gowans Stadium coming up in just a little bit. Thank you, Nick.
Thank you. We're ready.
Coach Dan Nacarado, yours truly, Glenn Grunwald. We'll be back here in just a little bit at Gowans Stadium. Hope to talk to you next week again on another pregame for Salt Hawk football.
Thanks for listening to the Hutchinson Salt Hawk football pregame show. Join us 30 minutes prior to each and every Salt Hawk game, each week throughout the entire football season. Kickoff is just minutes away, so stay tuned, and thanks again for listening.
I loved playing high school sports. I loved the competition, the camaraderie, the bands, the crowds, all the pageantry, and I wanted to keep playing. But I graduated. No colleges called, and neither did the pros. So, to stay close to the game I loved, I decided to become a high school official. You know, a referee. When I played high school sports, I learned the importance of integrity, good sportsmanship, and respect for the rules. Now, as a high school official, I get to help model these same values to others. Maybe the colleges and the pros didn't call, but the kids in Kansas did. And now, I'm enjoying the competition, the camaraderie, the bands, the crowds, and all the pageantry of high school sports all over again.
This message presented by the Kansas State High School Activities Association and the Kansas Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
It's time for Hutchinson Salt Hawk Sports on BW Radio. This broadcast is brought to you in part by First National Bank, H&R Block, Pools Plus, and the Medicine Shop. Salt Hawk Sports is also brought to you by these Salt Hawk Boosters, Jackson Meat, Wynn Insurance Group, and Summit Surgical of Hutchinson. Sideline reports brought to you by Jackson Meat and Papa John's Pizza. Now your host for Salt Hawk Sports, Glenn Grunwald.
On for regional football action. Bishop Carroll in the house to get set to take on the Salt Hawks of Hutchinson. Dan, it is a beautiful night for football.
It's a great night for football.
That it is. And as we get set for football action, we've had our Star Spangled Banner by the Expressives, the Hutch High Expressives, which was outstanding.
Featuring?
Well, she's in there. She's working her way back up there, and that would be Sarah Peterson. So appreciate them being able to go down there and do that. We're going to check in real quick with Joe Blake on the sidelines as he's back for another week. So glad to have you back this week, Joe. It's pretty nice out there.
Oh, yeah, it's great to be back, and it's a great night for football.
Oh, he's
royalties
giving a push to Coach Knack. 65 degrees is one I have.
Yep.
The winds have picked up a little bit, 7 miles per hour out of the south-southeast, but right now hardly even messing around with the flags on the goalposts. So what's your thoughts on tonight?
Right. I mean, it's going to be a great game tonight. And the wind, obviously, every week in Kansas is going to have a little bit of an impact on what happens at the coin toss. But it's going to be moving right to left and, shouldn't be that big of a factor as we've seen in previous weeks, though.
Yeah, Hutchinson has won some coin tosses, and they always refer to the second half. And other times they have not. But Hutchinson has been able to come out on top 8 out of the 9 times this year, but this Bishop Carroll team at 6-2 is a pretty good football team. And, Joe, they had lost to Derby. They also lost to Lawrence. Lawrence, number 1 team in the state in 6A. Derby ranked right up there as well.
Yeah, and Bishop Carroll, with the loss of the Wichita Public Schools at the beginning, they thought they weren't going to get to play any of the teams in City League. So they got to pack their schedule this year. Yep. And, this is not your typical 7 seed that you're going to see tonight.
Exactly. I'll turn my attention to Dan Nacarado down. Dan, we talked about that this has been, I even did the promo this week regarding the fact that this team probably has had the toughest schedule in 5A classification with those 2 losses that we talked about. They're a good football team.
When you look back at past weeks and you see Junction City, Capon, Derby, Lawrence, Bishop Miege, Aquinas, and now Hutchinson, that's a very rigorous high school football schedule.
What has made Hutchinson so tough this year?
I think that they have begun to see the dividends paid from all the investments made during the last 3 years in the weight room and the off season. They're stronger this year physically. They're tougher this year mentally. They've got great leadership, and we've got the addition of Miles Thompson at quarterback, the addition of Trey Peterson out there at wide receiver, as well as a pretty good kickoff return man and a punt return man. And those elements have all come together to form a synergy that took a team that went 2-7 the last 2 years to what we have this year at this point, 8-1 and hoping to continue to advance.
Well, and also I think the fact that they've really started to believe in each other, and they had those close games early on. That Valley Center game was extremely close, as well as also, of course, the Garden City game. Go out there, and then you kind of start to believe in yourself a little bit when you're able to come from behind. Took on a very good Mays South team, who I predict might beat Mays tonight. That's a pretty good team that we beat by only 1 point. They started getting that belief, and once you believe in something, you can go a long way.
Well, you hit it right on the head. They were tested, and they passed those tests. So the first 3 games of the season, they've got 3 wins, and by a grand total of 10 points, because every one of those games was in question clear up until the last minute.
Trey Salzbrenner is our board operator for tonight. We appreciate him doing the chief engineer work back at the BW studios. We're so glad to have you along. If you're listening on the radio and want to watch this game, if you should be at home, just go to hutchpost.com. And go follow the sports link on the story about the game and go down there and click either one of those links to it or watch it right there as well. Or you can also go to the Facebook page or also the Hutch Salthawk Sports Network. Or also you can go to youtube.com, listen to it on Alexa, do however you want to do. Get to the game and be able to watch this great matchup that we're going to have. We're going to take a 1-minute timeout, come back and set the stage as our captains get ready to go out at midfield. We'll take a break. We'll be back in 60 seconds for more Hutch Salthawk football.
Come gobble up the savings on your very own new hot tub at Pools Plus during our Thanksgiving sale. The Black Friday sale on spas lasts all month long, so get them while they last. Purchase your new American Whirlpool or find a spa today, and Pools Plus will deliver and install your new hot tub, and you can be relaxing before the holidays. Don't be a turkey. Shop local. Shop Pools Plus, 21 East 1st in downtown Hutchinson.
Call us at Pools Plus.
Hutchinson High School Sports is on the air thanks to these outstanding Salthawk boosters. Portfolio Recovery Associates of Hutchinson, Dr. Randy Smith of Appalachian Animal Hospital, the Wynn Insurance Group of Hutchinson, Summit Surgical, the Hutchinson Clinic, the Medicine Shop, and Jackson Meat. Hutchinson High School and Eagle Radio Sports thank these Salthawk boosters for their continued support of Hutchinson High School athletics.
Welcome back to Gowans Stadium. The coin flip is taking place right now in midfield. Jack Harver, one of the captains, David Waymeyer, the other one, along with the representatives from Bishop Carroll. And they're talking to Bishop Carroll right now and to the Hutch Salthawks. So there they decided, and looks like they're going to flip this around. It looks like Hutch is going to be defending the goal to the south. And they deferred. Hutch won the toss and did defer. And that's the way you have it, Joe?
Yes, sir. They deferred it, and they're ready to go.
All righty. So Hutchinson deferred their possession to the second half, and they've done that quite a bit. Matter of fact, I don't think they've ever went the other way, have they, Dan?
No, every time they have won the toss, they've deferred, and then their opponent has chosen to receive. Hutchinson has defended the south end zone.
So we're about set to get underway, just a minute and a half away from starting this
matchup. So glad to have everybody along on tonight's action as well. Good games all across the state. We had another one called last night. It was Cimarron and Hoisington. Hoiston advances. Cimarron broke out with COVID-19. So the Cardinals of Hoiston, who is a very good football team, advanced in their bracket as well. Of course, these Bishop Carroll Golden Eagles, Dan, did not play last week. They were to play Valley Center, so they're fresh as can be.
3 weeks to prepare for the Flexbone offense because they played St. Thomas Aquinas 2 weeks ago. That was a full week of practice getting ready to defend them. And then they got the next week off, and now they're at Hutchinson seeing the same offense again. So that could be an advantage for Bishop Carroll.
Gabe Gatchett will be back deep to receive on one side, on the far side. And we're about set to get underway as well. Also out there will be Peter Burns for the Golden Eagles of Bishop Carroll.
Alejandro Martinez kicks off for Hutchinson.
He's been doing a good job all year long. By the way, we do have Carter Boo back. He was injured a little bit after soccer a week ago. He was back last week as well. And
good soccer season for Hutchinson.
Gatchett will be on our near side, by the way, wearing number 19.
Lost a tough one at Dodge City, and Dodge City is in the Final Four for soccer.
They lost in overtime, 2 overtimes. Here we go. Here's the opening kickoff, and we are underway. Taken at the 3-yard line, deep at the 3, and up the field they'll bring it, and it's going to be wrapped up right away. And Barlow on the stop. Michael Pauley, defensive back, a junior for Bishop Carroll, took it up the 4, and they'll bring it up to about the 15-yard lines where they're going to mark it. So Bishop Carroll will have first possession. Nice pursuit by those gunners on the outside for the special teams by Hutchinson.
Another example of Jalen Barlow just doing whatever needs to be done to help his Hutchinson football team win games.
He's a good one, no doubt about that. So Hutchinson, a little weak at defense tonight. We'll talk about that in just a second with a couple players injured and missing. The throw quick on the outside, incomplete pass. As Needens quickly threw the ball on the outside. His intended receiver was diving for it, but the ball was away from him. His intended receiver on that far side is Tate Blasey.
Maddox Hennahaw was all over it. Had it been completed, it was going nowhere.
Here's the handoff. Straight away running right up the middle. He's got some room to run and up to across for the first down. Ball carrier is going to be number 10. That's Hunter Trail, the running back that you talked about. And he's a good one. Quick opener. Took it right up the middle, and it's going to mark it right at the 28-yard line. 1st and 10 for Bishop Carroll. Quarterback Needens gives to Trail again, straight overhead running. And he's loose up to the 40, all the way to the 42-yard line before he was tackled back there.
You'll be calling his name a lot tonight, Glenn. He is the feature back. And when he's not running the ball, a lot of times he's out in the receiving pattern to catch a pass.
Yeah, the quick opener, another moving up for first down. Newquist came in to make the stop. Now, I don't want to call his name too much tonight. That means they're getting into the secondary. But Kinzer playing with a split. Broke his hand last week.
Got a big black pad
sure
on that
does.
left hand.
Look like a club. Man in motion for Bishop Carroll. Now they get set out of the shotgun. They throw on the left side, and stop is going to be made right back there. A loss of 4 on the play. Big time stick by Hutchinson.
Devin Hackney came up immediately to make the stop.
Hackney's mother's listening tonight. He has a bad wheel, a sprain from last week, but he looks to be pretty healthy. And, of course, Grandma Sophie down in Pflugerville, Texas, listening in as well, as are several grandparents down there. Mason Sykes' grandparents listening along. We've got a whole bunch of grandparents that listen to the broadcast and watch it on the stream.
Hello, Pflugerville, Texas. Glad to have you with us.
We had 2 from Alaska. Here's the pitch to the outside. It goes to Trail again, and he picks up positive yardage. Got back what they lost all the way back out to the 48-yard line. So it'll bring up a 3rd down and about 3 from the 48 for Bishop Carroll.
Hunter Trail, a senior running back. He is the head coach, Dusty Trail's son. Dusty Trail in his 4th year as head coach at Bishop Carroll.
3rd down and 3. The give up in the middle to Trail. He has some room. He has the first down and more. They're a good-looking ball team when they move the football, and they'll move it to the 44, 1st and 10, Bishop Carroll.
Coach Dusty Trail, 33-9 as the head coach. He was an assistant coach for Alan Schuckman at Bishop Carroll, 1995 to 2016, so he's been there at
And he won a state championship a few years ago as well as the head coach.
2017.
I remember that because our good friend Sean Boston did the play-by-play, and Schuckman was his color man for most of that season. 1st and 10 now for Bishop Carroll on the Hutchinson 44-yard line. Back to pass is Needon. Steps up, throws it long, has a receiver out there, catches incomplete. Nice job defensively over there, and breaking it up for the Salthawks was Nolan Cunningham. Got a hand in at the last second to knock away the intended receiver was Oscar Gallardo.
Gallardo, one of those senior receivers, 6'1", 180, and he's a good one. That was a big-time defensive breakup.
We talked about how to pronounce his name earlier in the pregame, and I still had to take about 4 times look at it.
He pronounces the L, Gallardo.
Gallardo. Second down and 10 now facing Bishop Carroll. Nice idea to go long at that. Good coverage by Cunningham. Cunningham's turned into an excellent corner for Hutchinson. The keeper this time is Needon's on the run to the 35, down to the 30, and cuts outside, now cuts back inside, and he's finally going to get knocked out of bounds. Needon's with a nice run. And a stop is made, but not until he got to the 18-yard line.
Aiden Needon's in his third year as a starting quarterback for Bishop Carroll. He passed for quite a number of yards last year. 1,400 yards and 11 touchdowns last year.
They're marked right at the 18-yard line, so 1st and 10 from the 18. So Bishop Carroll marching right down the field after the opening kickoff. The give to Trail on the outside. He'll have some speed. Cuts inside the 10, 5, and down to about the 1-yard line.
See the similarities between Hunter Trail and Alec McEwen?
Yeah, very much so. About the same size kids. They'll take it right down to the, we'll mark it officially at the 1. 1st and goal from the 1 now for Bishop Carroll. Quick play, trying to get inside. It's a touchdown. So Trail took it in from 1 yard out. This all happened at the 9:28 mark of the first quarter of play. So Hutchinson knows they are in a ball game, a 1-yard touchdown run by Hunter Trail.
Workmanlike drive, and it was up-tempo. Bishop Carroll doesn't take very much time between plays. They get that defense tired.
The point after thus coming now. They'll mark it. Here comes the kick. It's up and on its way, and it is good. And your score, 7-0. Bishop Carroll with the lead. We'll take a quick 30-second break. We'll be back for the Bishop Carroll kickoff right after this timeout.
Hutchinson Community College and Blue Dragon Athletics are proud to support the Hutchinson Salthawks. Whether you're working towards your degree or are a busy working individual with limited time to attend class, Hutch CC has what you're looking for. And for those still in high school, Hutchinson Community College's Step Ahead program provides a head start on a quality education, and it may not cost the student anything. Visit hutchcc.edu or call 888-GO-HUTCH for more details. And good luck this season to the Salthawks.
7-0 ball game. Pretty nifty drive by Bishop Carroll right down the field. I think they had third down one time, 3rd and 3, and they were able to take it right down the field. So right now the defense trying to make their adjustments for Hutchinson. Now Hutchinson will receive the ball on the kickoff.
That was an 85-yard drive, and it only took 2.5 minutes. Most of the damage done on running plays, so that was a very efficient drive.
Michael Pauley will kick off for Bishop Carroll as they get set. And here comes the kick. Peterson and Hernandez back deep for Hutchinson. It's going to be taken by Peterson at the 20 to the 25, outside to the 30. Now he cuts back inside to the 35, still on his feet, up to about the 37-yard line. Nifty return by Trayton Peterson.
Tackle made by Andrew Husband.
Nice job to get back up and positive yardage after gathering it in at about the 20. Still on market at the 36.5-yard line. So Hutchinson wearing the black uniforms tonight. Kids really like those uniforms, sharp looking. They'll split out wide. Well, they actually go in tight end set, both. Here's Miles Thompson, the quarterback, wants to throw the ball, and a flag on the play right away. Illegal procedure is going to be the call.
It was a different look for Hutchinson.
It
we
was.
haven't seen that all year. They actually brought their wide receivers in close to the tackles and had a very compact formation.
False start for Hutchinson. So Hutch will back it up 5 and have a 1st down and 15.
Coach Vernon might say, heck with that formation if we're going to have a false start, but it looks like they're going right back to it.
So you're correct. Wide receivers in tight. Miles Thompson, the quarterback. Turn to give. Straightaway running and trying to get up to about the 39-yard line. Nice run by Hutchinson. And that's going to be Blackwell. Blackwell kind of usually starts off the offense with the first play. Carries forward for about a pickup of 2. Second down, actually a pickup of more than that, about a 7-yard pickup. Pickup 7, second down and 8. Now for Hutch. Back to pass. Thompson goes long as the receiver out there. Peterson couldn't get to it. Need to put a little air under it as he had him out there in stride, but just too long a pass.
Peterson was the only receiver in the pattern. Hutchinson hoping to catch Bishop Carroll a little bit by surprise in throwing the football.
So just outside of him being able to get to it. Derby with a quick 7-0 lead already on Gardner Edgerton in first quarter action and 6A ball. Here they want to work it on the outside, and they're right on top of Miles Thompson. Big loss on the play. And a pretty good play out there by Bishop Carroll. Coming up with a big stop was Jack Ryan. And it brings up a 4th down and punting situation. And right now, Hutchinson reeling a little bit. Going to have to go back to their game plan. And that play, Dan, just never did get out of the blocks.
No, that was a good defensive play by Bishop Carroll.
Here comes the kick. High end-over-end kick. It's going to be taken out about the 24-yard line. Heading upfield with it is positive yardage all the way up to about the 38-yard line. Nice return to the 38 by Michael Pauly. Power comes in to get the stop. 7-0 ball game. McPherson on top of Augusta. 7-0 here as well. Bishop Carroll on top of Hutchinson. 8:09 to go in this first quarter of play. So they'll mark the ball right at the 38. Good field position for the Golden Eagles of Bishop Carroll.
First 4 minutes of this football game, Bishop Carroll dominating. It's time for Hutchinson to get on track and hit their stride.
Got some good size up front, those offensive linemen. Maddox Marcotti's 6'4", 250. Gives straight away, breaking free at the 50. And then fumbling the football. Loose ball goes out of bounds as it looked like Trail fumbled the ball, but it will stay with Bishop Carroll.
It's going to become a 23-yard gain, but there's a little bit of mild controversy because on the snap it looked to me like the quarterback might have gone to a knee to retrieve that low snap, in which case the play could have been blown dead immediately.
Ball at the 39 of Hutchinson. Both Needens and Trail look to the sidelines. Trail with a big pickup, but then he fumbled the ball actually at the 45. The ball with forward progress went out of bounds at the 40. Hutch had one shot to get it and was not able to. They'll send a man in motion. That's going to be Hotzman, and the ball gets free. Incomplete pass is the intended receiver over on that far side was Holthusen, Matt Holthusen.
Another big play by Devin Hackney.
And Hackney came up and put a big hit on him. Hackney went out of the game with an ankle sprain last week and ended up getting it x-rayed, and it just ended up being a severe sprain. He's all taped up and looks to be in full 100%.
He jarred that ball loose to where it became an incomplete pass.
He tabbed him as the best open field tackler that we've had this year.
Best open field tackler I've seen this year on any of the teams.
Here's a keeper by Needens. He's tripped up. Forward progress to about the 36-yard line. Picked up a positive 4 yards. Third down and long now for Bishop Carroll.
That was Mason Weathers on the stop. Carroll is capable of picking up lots of yards and bursts.
The turn, the keep by Needens on the outside, and they get to him. It's going to be a 4th and short. Is it a 4-down situation, you think, Dan? Looks like it might be.
Definitely. They're outside of field goal range. They're on the Hutchinson 33-yard line. It's not an easy 4th down. A long 4, maybe 5 yards to go.
Yeah, that's about a 5-yard to measure. To give the trail again. He stopped. Hutch will take over on downs. Nice job defensively coming in for Hutch to get the job done. And out there, one of the young men out there for Hutchinson to get the job done was number 49. I lost that was Jefferson on the stop.
Yep. It gets a little confusing for us sometimes because when Hutchinson wears the black jerseys, some of the players go with a different number. Aaron Jefferson normally wears 57, but tonight he's wearing number 49.
Jefferson was in on the bottom of that stop. So here Hutchinson has it 1st and 10 on their own 32-yard line. 7:09 to go in this first quarter of play. Glenn Grunwald, Dan Nacarado along with you. Gibbs straightaway running and not much there.
Again, Hutchinson's showing a new look on the formation. They have not gone with the standard flex bone formation yet this game.
Pick up a 4 on the play for McEwen. Barlow's going to check out of the lineup.
All year long, Hutchinson has gone with a wide out on either side of the field. They call that Navy. Not yet tonight, though.
Hogan is set up in the slot on the right side now. McEwen at fullback. Boys had a great year. Give to McEwen straight away running, and they're going to have him stop right at the line of scrimmage. Might have picked up a yard up to about the 37-yard line. 3rd down and 5 now for Hutch. This is the way the game started for McEwen last week. He finds a way to get going in the 2nd, 3rd, and especially in the 4th quarter of play. It gets stronger as the game progresses.
He's in great shape, and he's mentally tough. He's one of those players that just seems to get better and better as the game progresses.
It's a huge defensive line for Bishop Carroll. They've been getting it done all year long, and Wilson Eustace up in the front, he kind of anchors it all.
See him moving around?
Yeah, the little hop over, and here's Thompson on the keep, and he's hit at the 40, falls forward. I think he's close to the 1st down. Depends on the forward progress. It looks to have it up to about the 43, and if that is, it'll be enough for the 1st down.
Picked up 3 or 4 yards on 2nd and 3rd effort.
And they will move the chains. It's a 1st down for Hutchinson.
He escaped the turnover there, just about lost the ball on the triple option reads there.
Joe's Sideline Reports brought to you by Papa John's Pizza at 17th and Plum, as well as Jackson Meat at 13 West 6th Street. Thompson wants to throw the quick opener. Caught made by Miller. Miller up to about the 47-yard line. Positive yardage pickup of about 7 yards. Brings up a 2nd down and 3.
Brian Birch had the coverage. Good throw. Good pitch and catch.
It really was. Miller's been out there a lot this year. We haven't had the occasion to call his name that many times, but he had a nice catch on that near side.
Now we're seeing this more traditional flex bone formation.
Split out wide. It's a turn to give away. Quick opener. And it's McEwen straight away. Got the 1st down. Nice pickup. He needed 5 and got 6 or 7.
5:26 to play in the 1st quarter. Bishop Carroll at Hutchinson. Carroll leads Hutchinson 7-0.
But Hutchinson's starting to drive it out a little bit here.
That offense is starting to click a little bit now.
Cape in the lead over Goddard 7-0 in early action. These are all 1st quarter scores. McPherson expanded now to 14-0 over Augusta. Giveaways straight ahead, running by McEwen, still on his feet, all the way down to the 30-yard line and to the 29. That is vintage Alex McEwen.
He just keeps those legs churning. He refuses to be stopped. It always takes 2 or 3 or 4 defensive players to finally get him to stop.
Knee hit at the 30. Last week he made a crucial 4th down play late in the ball game. I saw a picture of that where he landed. He had it by like a half a yard at least across that 20 to about the 19.5.
Based on the spot, it ended up being measured.
It ended up being exciting, wasn't it?
1st down by about an inch based on where the ball was spotted on that play.
Hutch facing a 1st and 10 now from the Bishop Carroll 30-yard line. Salthawks trying to answer that nice drive that Bishop Carroll had in the 1st quarter play. We're still in the 1st, 4:49 to go in the 1st quarter of play. Turn to give ahead again to McEwen. He's got some room and carries it all the way down to about the 18-yard line. 1st and 10 again for Hutchinson. McEwen's the kind of kid who's going to say, hey, get on my back and we're going to get this done. That was a hard run right there by McEwen all the way down to the 18-yard line.
Alec McEwen has a lot to do with the toughness of this Hutchinson football program this year. His toughness, his determination has been contagious.
He's set up at that fullback spot. Miles Thompson, the quarterback, all 6'7" of him. Trying to get to Blackwell. Blackwell trying to get forward up to about the 16-yard line. Pick up a couple on the play. 2nd down and 8 faced the Salthawks.
Both offensive teams in this first quarter have a very fast tempo going. They're not taking much play clock. Yeah, I thought maybe there was an illegal motion on that play.
Yeah, it might have been an illegal motion. They will back it up. So you're exactly right, Dan.
I didn't see the flag, but I certainly thought the backfield left a little bit early.
So that'll be a 1st and 15 now, and they'll move the ball back to about the 23-yard line after McEwen had got him to the 18, and then Blackwell's run was erased. 4:07 to go in this first quarter of play. 7-0, Bishop Carroll with the lead over Hutchinson. This is regional action. Winner takes on the winner between Mays South and Mays. 2 dandy games going at it tonight. Back to pass. Thompson goes long, has a receiver out there. Catch is made at the 1. Hogan on the catch.
He had some toughness to catch that ball because the Bishop Carroll defensive back was gaining on him quickly, and he knew there might be a collision, but he still held on to the football.
He rolled into the end zone, so I was waiting to see if they're going to give the indication. The ball's going to be at the 1.5-yard mark, 1st and goal for Hutchinson. Tell you what, he caught that in stride.
And it was a great example of Miles Thompson, excellent footwork.
Again, straight ahead. Running McEwen is in there for the touchdown, I believe. No indication as of yet.
It's up. Touchdown.
It's up and in there. Hutchinson pulls within 1 of Bishop Carroll. Bishop Carroll 7-6. Extra point forthcoming. Nice run by Alec McEwen. And a nice drive by Hutchinson.
Excellent drive. That was a 68-yard drive in about 3.5 minutes.
New holder for the Salthawks, Gabe Ide.
Yeah, Gabe Ide
is out with his wrist.
Exactly. Gabe Ide will come in to hold.
Does a good job.
And he does, and the point after is good. And with 3:35 to go in this first quarter of play, it's Hutchinson 7, Bishop Carroll 7. We'll wait the Hutchinson kickoff right after this 30-second timeout.
Welcome to the Hutchinson Medicine Shop. With the emergence of big business, not only in pharmacy, but all industries, the Medicine Shop is proud to be a thriving local business in Hutchinson. We're so thankful to our customers in Hutchinson, Reno County, and Central Kansas for your support. In turn, we're proud to be a major sponsor of the Hutch High Salthawks, as well as other area high schools, the Blue Dragons, Chiefs, Royals, Jayhawks, and Wildcats. You support us, and the Hutchinson Medicine Shop supports local sports.
Well, pretty nifty defensive stop by Hutchinson. As, again, making the stop was Jefferson on 4th down, and then Hutchinson came right down the field. He was able to punch it into the end zone, McEwen from 2 yards out. Now we get set for the Hutch kickoff, and here it comes. Long kick's going to be taken at the 3. Slips a little bit, and they're going to say, nope, his knee went down.
That's a great break for Hutchinson.
And Aiden Needon's back. Is it Needon? Where was that?
Noah Mall, number 38.
Okay, yep. It was Noah Mall that slipped a little bit. And they'll be back all the way back at the 2. So Hutchinson defense now called upon to try to get a stop here. Bishop Carroll deep in their own territory. So Hutchinson gets set defensively. Newquist out there on the secondary along with Hackney. Nolan Cunningham tied on the other side defensively. Here's a give to Trail. He's going to be tackled just about out of the backfield by, I've got about a foot and a half out of there. Coming in quickly was Weathers. Mason Weathers just got back there quickly. Quick as a hiccup, Dan, and that brought him down.
I've never been a fan of running a play where you're reading the defense when you're in the shotgun in your own end zone.
It was, though. And Needens. This time Needens keeps it on the outside. Gets out of the end zone, and now he's going to be hit at the 15. Still loose on his feet. Yeah, it might have been a fumble, but he got all the way up to the 25-yard line. I think he hung on to the ball.
Actually got knocked over by his own man.
Yeah, sure did.
Right on cue, right after I say I'm not a fan of reading the defense when you're in your own end zone, that's exactly what Bishop Carroll did for a 23-yard gain.
Needham's run takes it out to the 25, 1st and 10 now for Bishop Carroll. The catch is made by Trail, and then finally Nolan Cunningham brings it down. 5-yard pickup if they give him that forward progress, and they will. It'll be up to the 30.
Bishop Carroll moves Hunter Trail around into various positions, and they like him to run the ball. They like him to catch the ball.
They like to do the quick snap, too. They don't take too long to get it off.
They don't let the defense catch their breath.
And they also sub guys in and out on offense. And,
they sure do.
You know, Hutch could take advantage and sub in guys for themselves, and the ref would have to stand over the ball to make sure that they got their guys out there.
2nd down and 4 now facing Bishop Carroll. Needham's the quarterback in the shotgun. Keeps it himself around the right side. He read the keeper, and big opener all the way up to about the 47-yard line. And the stop made by Hutchinson. Coming up to make the stop again was Ben Patterson.
Bishop Carroll pulled their left guard all the way across the line. He got a good lead block.
1st and 10 now for Bishop Carroll at their own 47-yard line. They've taken it all the way out from the 2. Send a man in motion, right to left. Now he'll set up the slot on that left side. Wants to throw the football. Needham's goes up and catch is made at the 41 and down to the Hutchinson 35-yard line before he's corralled out of bounds. The catch over there being made by Noah Ferguson.
Pretty nifty footwork that time exhibited by Aiden Needens as he rolled to his left, planted his feet, and threw a strike.
Throw on the left side, catch is made.
Hutchinson's going to get got.
Yeah, he had too many people on the field as one of the Hutchinson substitutes. And what you said a little while ago, Joe, that's the problem with that is getting people on and off quickly. As I bet you Needham saw that he wasn't going to get off in time, and they had the ball to snap, so whistle on the play to stop play.
And I don't think Bishop Carroll had any offensive substitutions prior to that snap.
So will they keep the run?
Illegal participation.
Mm-hmm. It's a positive run all the way up to the 30. Be about the same. It'll either be 1st and 5 or they're going to mark it from that spot up to the 25.
Bishop Carroll on the move. 1:35 to play in the first quarter. It's tied. Hutchinson 7, Bishop Carroll 7.
Ball's on the 25 of Hutchinson. 1st and 10 now for Bishop Carroll. They'll split wide out on the right and left. Go with trips on the left side. Wide open backfield for Needens. Wants to throw it, and he's going to eat the ball and be dropped. Waymeyer on the stop. Back to the 30-yard line.
Now let's give 54 a little credit there too. Dorian Hippen, sophomore.
2nd down and 15 now facing Bishop Carroll. The keep by the quarterback Needens, and he stopped. Nothing there. As you had a whole host of ball players coming in there. Ben Patterson, one of them. Also getting in there on the stop was Mason Weathers. So 3rd down and long. They got to go to the 15. Ball right now on the 34.
Hutchinson defense got a little bit more aggressive the last couple of plays, getting into the backfield.
So 3rd down and 19 facing Bishop Carroll. Back to pass, looks right, goes long. Receivers out there, catch is made at the 15. Gets away from the tackler all the way to the 5, to the 4, dives into the end zone, and they say touchdown. A touchdown from 35 yards out on 3rd and 19. Bishop Carroll on the board again to make it 13-7. 10 seconds to go in the quarter. That a 35-yard pass completion. The catch was made all the way down there by Hutchinson. Here comes the point after kick. It is up and it is good. Your score 14-7. Bishop Carroll with the lead. 10 seconds to go in quarter number 1. We'll be back in a half minute.
Get the latest news, weather, and sports in one place. HutchPost.com. It's your one-stop news source powered by Eagle Radio. Plus, play fun contests. Save with big deals of Central Kansas. Get the latest ag news, daily obituaries. Keep tabs on your favorite sports teams, including the Salt Hawks and Blue Dragons. And be sure to sign up for the Hutch Post Morning News in your inbox. 24 hours a day, get news when you want it at HutchPost.com.
It's time to finish your taxes. Whether we filed your extension or not, bring your tax information to H&R Block and let our tax professionals ensure you get every deduction and credit you deserve. And our offices in Hutchinson, Lyons, and Ellsworth are open to assist you. Don't wait to file your tax return and risk penalties for missing the deadline. Make an appointment now and put our expertise to work for you.
Bishop Carroll to kick off. We're only 10 seconds away from a break between quarters. And that was a nice drive, a 3rd and 19 from the 35, and they were able to connect to Hutchinson, who shaked the tackle and got into the end zone. He'll come up, catch is made by Danielson at about the 15. He carries it back, positive yardage, stretches the ball all the way up to the 34-yard line. Nice return by Daniel Hernandez with a nice job of getting it back up. 1st and 10 now, Hutch. So can he answer? 5 seconds to go in the quarter, Dan.
That was a 98-yard drive by Bishop Carroll, and it took them 3 minutes, 23 seconds to put the ball in the end zone. Capped off by the 35-yard pass.
Hutchinson breaks huddle. Clock will start on the snap. Miles Thompson, the quarterback, up under center. Now he gets set. Wants to throw the football again. Steps up, runs out of room, and finally dumps it away. And it goes off the helmet of a Hutchinson player, picked up, and they're going to return. Now they're going to wave it dead. Barlow was back there to pick up the football.
It actually bounced off of his helmet. It was obviously a forward pass, and finally the officials did blow the play dead.
So that'll end the quarter. We go to the second quarter of play. Your score, Bishop Carroll 14, Salt Hawks 7. We'll be back after this 1-minute timeout.
Hutchinson High School sports is on the air thanks to these outstanding Salt Hawk boosters. Portfolio Recovery Associates of Hutchinson, Dr. Randy Smith of Appalachian Animal Hospital, the Wynn Insurance Group of Hutchinson, Summit Surgical, the Hutchinson Clinic, the Medicine Shop, and Jackson Meat. Hutchinson High School and Eagle Radio Sports thank these Salt Hawk boosters for their continued support of Hutchinson High School athletics.
Need to send someone money? Pay a babysitter? Split the bill? Use FirstPay. It is the person-to-person payment option located right inside your online banking app. There is no need to download an additional application. It is simple, safe, and secure. We're first for you. Visit fnbhutch.bank to learn more, or click on your First National Bank app to get started. You can also stop into a location nearest you, and we're happy to help. First National Bank of Hutchinson, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
2nd down and 10 for the Salt Hawks of Hutchinson. Ball on their own 34-yard line. The throw to catch is made, and they say incomplete. Thought that Peterson had it for a second, but it will be 3rd down and 10 now for Hutchinson. 14-7. Bishop Carroll on top. See Bueller's on top of Rose Hill, 14-0. That's a good Rose Hill team that's playing the Bueller Crusaders tonight. Here it's 3rd down and 10 for Hutchinson. Thompson, the quarterback, McEwen at fullback slot. They want to throw it to get it out on the screen of McEwen on the outside. He's got the first down and more all the way to the 50 and down to the 47-yard line of Bishop Carroll. So Hutch with the screen pass. Nice time for that. They'll mark it at the 47. 1st and 10, Hutchinson.
That first quarter of action, Bishop Carroll, 208 yards of total offense compared to 74 for Hutchinson. Big part of that 208 yards, the 98-yard drive at the end of the first quarter.
So Hutchinson with the football now inside of Bishop Carroll territory. And ball's complete to the outside of Peterson. Pick up short yardage of about 3 or 4. They'll mark it right at the 43. 2nd and 6 for Hutch. The scoreboard is not right. It's saying 2nd and 14. Turn and give straight ahead running. Stretching it out was McEwen. Nice pickup. Close to the first down. Let's see where they mark it.
He almost pops that one for a long touchdown run.
He's going to be about a yard short.
The shoestring tackle.
38-yard lines where they'll mark it. And it's going to be a 3rd down and 1. Could be a shootout, Dan, if we just keep exchanging scores. Put a man in motion, but brings him back. That'll be Blackwell setting up on that right slot. Check off on the play. The keeper by Thompson. He gets the first down. Down to about the 36-yard line. 1st and 10, Hutchinson. They'll move the chains.
McEwen over 50 yards already in this game. Just a minute and a half into the second quarter. He's right on pace with what he normally picks up a game.
The Salt Hawk football on KWBW, bottom half of the hour at 7:35 in Hutchinson, Kansas. Glenn Grunwald, Dan Nacarado, Joe Blake, and Sarah Peterson on the video. Joe on the sidelines, courtesy of Jackson Meat, as well as Papa John Pizza. Thompson keeps it, heads upfield, and didn't get very far. As a matter of fact, picks up maybe a yard on the play.
Well defended by the Golden Eagles.
It's that read option on the outside, and pretty much on top of it. They'll move it. They'll mark it at the 34. So 2nd down and 8. Hutchinson with a nice run all the way down to the 2, and then McEwen took it in for the score. Bishop Carroll with a couple scores. A 1-yard run by Hunter Trail, as well as also a 35-yard pass play. This is to Holthusen. Keep on the right side, and Thompson on the carry down to about the 29-yard line. It's going to be short of the first down by about 3 yards.
Hutchinson in 4-down territory inside Bishop Carroll's 30.
They'll say 3rd and 3 what the call is going to be. Hutchinson simplified blocking schemes this year, and it's made a difference, Dan.
I like it.
Thompson, quick opener, gives to McEwen. He leans forward all the way down to about the 26-yard line. It's going to be really close for the first down, and I think it's going to be just a hair short. 4th down and less than a yard to go for the first down. See if Thompson, quarterback, sneaks it or not. They do. They go cars on the left side. He's across and has the first down to the 25.
Made it look easy.
Kind of backed into it a little bit, didn't he? Tucked it away.
He did. I think he learned that trick from Alec McEwen.
I think he did too.
Hutchinson now 19 out of 28 on 4th down conversion attempts this season. That's about 68%.
And that run was against what appeared to be a jumbo defensive line for Bishop Carroll. They
stacked it up.
Big guys.
Stacked up those A-gaps and didn't make any difference. Carroll moving on defense. Here goes Thompson, wants to throw it. Goes across, has his receiver, got it, caught at the 12-yard line. 1st and 10, Hutchinson. That was Hogan again on the catch. Hogan's turned into a very reliable receiver for the Salt Hawks in the second half of the season.
Hogan brings a lot to the party for this Salt Hawk offense, and he is a junior, so we'll look forward to seeing him play a lot more football at Hutchinson High School.
They'll mark it at the 13-yard line, excuse me. That was a great pattern that he ran, a great route. As he broke off of it, as soon as he broke, the ball was there.
Well thrown ball again by Miles Thompson.
1st and 10 at the 13. at the Carroll 13. Hutchinson with 4 on the play clock. Miles got to go. 3, 2, and they took a timeout. Hutch burned a timeout because I don't think they're going to get that play off. We'll take a quick 30-second break when they talk things over. Hutchinson with the ball, 1st and 10 on the Bishop Carroll 13-yard line, trailing Carroll 14-7. Second quarter action, 7:36 to go in the second quarter. We'll be right back in the 30-second timeout.
Need to send someone money? Pay a babysitter? Split the bill? Use FirstPay. It is the person-to-person payment option located right inside your online banking app. There is no need to download an additional application. It is simple, safe, and secure. We're first for you. Visit fnbhutch.bank to learn more, or click on your First National Bank app to get started. You can also stop into a location nearest you, and we're happy to help. First National Bank of Hutchinson, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Well, Hudson on the drive, Dan, down to the 13-yard line with a 1st and 10 on a nice catch by Hogan. Really like that kid.
He brings a lot to the offense because he can do so many things. Very versatile.
Zach Hogan made a couple big catches last week. Now they'll set things up. 1st and 10 now from the 13 after the Hutch timeout. The give, straight ahead running McEwen. Gets half of it all the way down to about the 7-yard line. Actually, a little bit more than about 6-yard pickup. 2nd and 4. Jonathan Fan on that right side. Doobie, the center for Hudson, has been all season long. Thompson looks to the sideline, gets the call in.
Tajon James is in the game at left guard now.
Tajon James. Give away, straight ahead running again, not much there. McEwen, no gain on the play is what the call was.
The yards get tough when you get down there inside
sure
your
do.
opponent's 15.
So 3rd down and 4. Taking her time, letting that clock run down. 6:30 to go in this second quarter of play. We got the two extremes tonight. Bishop Carroll that wants to go quickly, and Hutchinson that takes their time. Ball on the outside, and that's going to be Peterson down to about the 6-yard line.
Excellent tackle by Michael Pauley.
Really was. Pickup of only 1 on the play, so 4th down and 3.
Mason Sykes normally plays left guard for Hutchinson. I see he's on the sideline with his helmet off.
Looks to be walking okay, though. Miles Thompson steps out of the huddle, or out of the formation, excuse me. Play clock at 7. Switches these slots around. Now you got to go. The give again on the outside, trying to turn it up as McEwen has some room, stretches at the goal line. Yeah, I think he's got the 1st down, but not the touchdown. We'll trade that out.
Bishop Carroll had 3 chances to get him behind the line of scrimmage.
It's really close to the 1st down, and they'll give it a 1st down. 1st and goal, Hutchinson.
We almost had another case of Alec McEwen getting.
I thought he just
finessed out of a half yard.
Yeah, they're going to mark it at the 3. 1st and goal from the 3-yard line.
Determined running by Alec McEwen. That's the kind of thing that just rips the heart out of a defense when you should have your opponent stopped in the backfield, but a running back just makes something out of nothing.
Joe, did they say he stepped out at the 3? Because I thought it was really close to the goal line.
Yeah, he stepped out at the 3, but he 2.5.
Here's a turn, a give. This time it's Blackwell on that option and goes to about the 1. So 2nd down and goal from the 1 for Hutch.
Situation where Bishop Carroll will likely just attack the line of scrimmage with everything they have. If they jump off sides or encroach, it's just a half-yard penalty.
Thompson, the quarterback. Let's see if they go Cars here or not. And Cars is basically the sneak. They'll turn, nope, and give it this time. Trying to get into the end zone. I believe it might have been Blackwell on the score. Let's check it.
It's McEwen.
It's McEwen. McEwen with the touchdown. His second of the night. So Hutchinson punches it into the end zone and pulls within one of Bishop Carroll, 14-13. A 1-yard run by McEwen. Is coming at the 4:54 mark of the second quarter of play. Here's the kick. It's up. It's win its way, and it is good as Carter Boo connects. 14-14 tie. We await the Hutchinson kickoff with 4:54 to go in the second quarter of play. We'll be right back.
Basketballs are bouncing and crowds are cheering. Your best offense during cold and flu season is a good defense. Drink plenty of liquids, get plenty of rest, and keep your hands sanitized. If a bug still manages to get you, Ashcraft Pharmacy, your local Health Mart pharmacy, has over-the-counter medications that can help. Or if you need a prescription, we offer free mail-out, free delivery, or call ahead for our handy curbside service. Go Salt Hawks! From Ashcraft Pharmacy in the Hart Shopping Center, South Hutchinson, and Health Mart, caring for you and about you.
Well, we were just talking during the break. Wouldn't be a bad time for an onside kick. You never know.
Hutchinson made a living picking up extra possessions through onside kicks for a couple of seasons. They haven't done it so much this season, but they got a big one in that win over Mays.
Couple of second quarter scores. McPherson 22, Augusta 6 now. Miege 36, Fort Scott 12. These are all second quarter scores in playoff action, regional action. So here comes the kick, and it's going to kick it away. It will not be an onside. It's going to be taken at the 14 on the near side, and up the field they tried to turn it up and knocked out of bounds at about the 27-yard line. Returning it there was Cade Gatchett.
Good tackle by Nolan Cunningham. There was a flag on the kick.
It's going to be after the play, and I think they're going to get Bishop Carroll for it. The Bishop Carroll player kind of reacted strongly.
Okay. We'll check and see what the call is going to be, because right now it'll be at about the 28-yard line. It's a push in the back. It's going to be the call.
And well, that'll move it back quite a ways.
It sure will. From the spot of the infraction. Pretty hefty all the way back to the 13. So 1st and 10 for Bishop Carroll at the 13. That didn't hurt them last drive as they had it at the 2. Took it right up the field.
Yeah, they went on a 98-yard scoring drive in 3 minutes, 23 seconds, their last possession.
Right now, 4:50 to go in the second quarter of play. Well, now they decide they better mark it up a little bit, back up to about the 18.
Is there negotiating going on down there?
I don't know. So here we go. Hutchinson digs in defensively. Needon's the quarterback to give the trail. He's got some speed, and he hits that hole quick, but not much there. Up to about the 20. Pick up of 2.
Hunter Trail caught a couple of passes for 11 yards in the first quarter, and he picked up 85 yards rushing. Also has a touchdown to his credit already tonight.
Set up again. 2nd down and 8. Ark City and Andover Central tied up at 14 in the second quarter. Low snap picked up by Needens, and they're going to say his knee hit.
That's what I thought they could have called earlier tonight. The same type of thing where it's a low snap and Needens goes down to a knee to field it.
They'll mark it back to the 15.
If your knee touches the turf while you have the football in high school, that's the end of the play.
So this will be a 3rd down and 13 now. And this is a big call at this time in the ball game. Hudson defense is kind of adjusted to the early success that Carroll had. Now Carroll breaks huddle. They'll send wideouts on the left and right. Twins to the upside. Back to passes Needens. Goes across and incomplete pass. Knocked away.
Good coverage out there by Kenzer Newquist.
And Carroll has a player down. Looks to be a lineman.
Luke Richmeyer.
Yes, Richmeyer down. And they're taking a look at him. It'll bring up a 4th down and punting situation for the Carroll Golden Eagles. And Hutchinson will talk things over. We're going to take a quick 30-second injury break here as well. 3:32 to go in the second quarter of play. 4th down and 12 for Bishop Carroll. We'll wait the punt for Bishop Carroll when we return in 30 seconds.
Forward. Always moving. Never stagnant. Together. Nothing great is ever accomplished without it. At Fee Insurance Group, we've been working side by side with our clients for more than a century. Together with individuals, organizations, and communities, we look ahead to protect the people, places, and things they love. We're Fee Insurance Group. Forward. Together.
Still an injured player on the field as they attend to him. It was a lineman. It'll be 1st and 12, or actually 13 from the 15-yard line. Going to be helped off the field. He's got quite a bit of weight on that one foot. Now one of the linesmen is going to come off and help one of the trainers get him off the field.
Into the first quarter, Mays ahead of Mays South, 14-7. Capon ahead of Goddard, 7-0. Wichita Northwest all over Wichita Heights, 20-0. On the east side, Mill Valley over Spring Hill, 17-0. DeSoto 21, Leavenworth 7. Aquinas 14, Pittsburgh nothing.
We knew that was going to be a good one.
Seaman and Blue Valley Southwest tied at 7.
All right, substitutions have been made now as the offensive lineman was taken off the field. They're going to punt the football away deep at about the 45-yard line will be Peterson, Trayton Peterson. Here comes the punt. Nice high end over end pick. It's going to hit at the 48. Peterson gathers it in at the 41, and that's where he's going to be clobbered out of bounds. Yeah, gutsy play by Peterson. He was hoping somebody would miss and he'd get a step on him, but Hutch will have it 1st and 10 from their own 41-yard line.
Just by fielding the ball on the bounce, though, he may have saved
Hutchinson
he sure about
did.
5 yards of field position.
Ball hit at the 50 and was end over end. Peterson caught it, 2-41. So 1st and 10 for Hutch. Chase Kepler in that right guard position next to Doobie. And Fans over on the right tackle. Turn to give, straight ahead running. McEwen with some room across the 50 all the way down to the 47-yard line. Quick opener on that left side, and it was right in between Ragosa. Nice job of carrying it all the way to the 47-yard line. 1st and 10, Hutchinson. McEwen's down in his stance already, ready to go. They'll move Barlow to the left side slot. Now they'll switch it out. Bring in Hogan to that slot. Barlow wide left. Keep the pitch on the outside. Here goes Barlow. No, check that. Hogan all the way down to the 31-yard line. 1st and 10, Hutchinson. Hogan had switched out from Barlow's slot. That's why I called out the wrong number to start with. But a nice run by Hogan around that right side. You might see the future fullback next year possibly if Hogan keeps running like this.
Miles Thompson made a great read to pull it from McEwen and then immediately pitch it to Hogan.
And once again, it was to his right side, which he's really, I think he's worked on it so well and so good that he's really solid on that right side pitch.
He is very, very good going to his right.
1st and 10, Hutchinson, 2:35 to go in this first half of play. We're in the second quarter. Hutchinson on the drive. Wants to throw it. Back is Thompson over the outstretched hands of Peterson at the 20. And brings up a 2nd down and 10 call.
We expected an even matchup tonight, Glenn, and that's exactly what we're getting. Hutchinson averages 33 points a game, gives up 26. Bishop Carroll averages 36 points a game, gives up 28.
Tied up at 14 all right now in the 2:25 to go in this second quarter of play. To give straightaway opening, the spin by McEwen, still trying to get outside to the 30, and he's going to be wrapped up there. Pickup of 2 yards. And stacked him up right at the 30 and was not able to get away from anybody.
takes a lot of courage to do that spin move right at the line of scrimmage between the tackles with a lot of traffic. A lot of times as you spin, a couple defensive players come from your blind side, and that can be kind of painful sometimes.
3rd and 8 now for Hutchinson. Ball at the 30-yard line of Bishop Carroll.
Salthawk offense keeping an eye on the clock, trying not to leave much time if Bishop Carroll gets
Just
the ball
two
back.
different philosophies. Eat up as much time and keep the ball out of the hands of the Carroll offensive squad. Pitch outside. Trying to get out there again. This time it's going to be Hogan. Nope, that was Blackwell. Blackwell carries all the way to about the 24-yard line. Close to the first down, but not quite there with 1:32 to go.
Miles Thompson is absorbing some punishment right as he makes that pitch on the option. That's a couple of times he's been hit pretty hard as he's making the pitch.
4th down and 1. Key play coming up here for the Salthawks with 1:32 to go in the quarter. I thought for a second that was Hogan again with the ball, but it wasn't. It was 34 instead of number 30. And Blackwell took it around that right side.
So many players contribute to the Salthawk success in 2020.
Well, as a broadcaster, you kind of cheat a little bit. You got a good idea who it is if it's the fullback with the ball, usually McEwen. There's a keeper by Thompson. He's got the first down as he stretches. Mark it at the 30, at the 21.
A couple of Bishop Carroll players had him in the backfield, but he managed to fight through both of them to get the first down.
So 1st and 10 for Miles Thompson in the Salthawk offense.
Clock will start on the spot of the ball and the movement of the chains.
1:23, clock's rolling away. 1st and 10 for Hutch. Miles Thompson back to pass. Looks, dumps it out, throws it long, and out of the outreached hands of Peterson. They came to the blitz. He knew he had to get rid of it, and he was just hoping that he could put enough bump on it to keep it away from anybody. Maybe his offensive player get underneath it, but that would have taken some speed to get down there to catch that one.
Did a good job of getting the ball out there where no one could catch it except for maybe his receiver Peterson. But it's better to keep the ball and line up again 2nd and 10.
Peterson ran a great route there, but Bishop Carroll pass rush.
Yeah, the pass rush, he knew he had to get rid of it. 1:11 to go in the contest, 2nd quarter of play. The give to McEwen has some room to the 20 and down to about the 19, actually the 14, to the 15 and down to the 14. Nice pickup there. 3rd down and short. 3rd and about 3.
Hutchinson caught the Bishop Carroll defensive lineman spreading out that time where there was no one at the line of scrimmage between the guards to stop the running back.
Clock inside of 46 seconds now. Give to McEwen. He has some room all the way down to the 5 and down to the 4-yard line. It'll be a 1st and goal situation. Let's see if Hutch uses the timeout here or not. With 40 seconds remaining to go, they'll move the chains. That stops the clock. Or do you just go ahead and go with it here? I think they're going to go ahead and go with it. Clock's moving now, 38, 37. Ball's on the 4-yard line of Carroll. Thompson down under center. The option, it gets the pitch outside. That's going to be Hogan. He dives into the end zone, and a flag on the play. He says short of the end zone by about a yard.
Might have been a crackback block, which is illegal in high school football.
Stops the clock with 21 seconds remaining to go in the contest, 2nd quarter. It was thrown right at the point of the play, and it will be against Hutchinson. A lot of the fans were hoping that it was maybe a face mask from that spot, but Dan, you spotted it pretty easily.
That's a point of emphasis the last few years in high school football, that you can't come from the blind side to make a block on a defensive player.
So 1st and goal from just outside the 10-yard line right now for Hutchinson. Now, time is not an ally with 21 seconds remaining to go in the quarter. Got to try to get something in here. Here we go. They'll set up. Blackwell in that right slot. Keeper by Thompson. The pitch on the outside. He gets away from one blocker and gets out of bounds down to about the 9-yard line. Same play as last time. Clock showing 15 seconds. So pickup of 2. Ball will be on the right hash mark. Ryan on the stop for the Eagles, Golden Eagles of Carroll.
Jack Ryan, every time I see that name, I think of the action movies and the novels. But this is a Bishop Carroll, good defensive player, Jack Ryan.
Mays on top of Mays South, 28-7 second quarter. Back to pass Thompson. Incomplete pass at the goal line to Peterson. Boy, it was there on the slant inside with 12 seconds to go.
Michael Pauley made a good defensive play. He was out there on an island all by himself, and he jarred the ball loose.
That was just about caught in stride on that slant right there. Good call. With the incomplete pass, it stops the clock with 12 seconds remaining to go in the half.
Hutchinson does have 2 timeouts, so they have enough time to run a couple of plays if they don't get in the first time.
Can't be too long a developing play, though, Dan. And bring them up to the line here. Yep, brings them up to about the 9-yard line. 3rd and goal from the 9, and Coach is going to use one of those timeouts right here. 3rd and goal from the 9. We'll get a quick break in. We'll be back in a half minute. 12 seconds remaining to go into halftime. Hutchinson threatening. We'll be back in 30.
Come gobble up the savings on your very own new hot tub at Pools Plus during our Thanksgiving sale. The Black Friday sale on spas lasts all month long, so get them while they last. Purchase your new American Whirlpool or find a spa today, and Pools Plus will deliver and install your new hot tub, and you can be relaxing before the holidays. Don't be a turkey. Shop local. Shop Pools Plus, 21 East 1st in downtown Hutchinson.
Call us at Pools Plus.
Welcome back. 12 seconds to go in the quarter. We're in the second quarter. Hudson knocking on Carroll's door with the ball on the 9-yard line. Thought we had it all the way down to the 2, Dan, and then the crack-back block brought us back out to the 11. Right now we're facing a 3rd down and 9, 3rd and goal from the 9.
Hutchinson still has 2 chances to get it in with a timeout in their hip pocket.
Peterson split wide left. Again, he came with that slant here in a second ago.
A little confusion on the alignment.
Now Miller will switch places, and Peterson will come around on the right side. So you're right. Play clock at 13.
I think Bishop Carroll took a timeout.
Carroll took a timeout. We're going to keep it here. We'll run down a couple other scores. 12 seconds to go in this one. We're tied at 14, but Hutchinson with a 3rd down and 9 from the 9-yard line. 3rd and goal from the 9. Mays all over Mays South, 28-7 second quarter action. Wamego and El Dorado, 14-12. El Dorado hadn't made the playoffs in a long time. They're at halftime. Wamego with the lead. Buhler all over Rose Hill, 28-0 over the Rockets. And Garden Plain and Hillsborough locked up in a good one, 18-7. Garden Plain with the lead second quarter of play. That's some of the scores from around. Don't forget, at 10 o'clock, Nick Gosnell will be along on BW with his scoreboard show, the BW Scoreboard Show. And that, again, is at 10 o'clock tonight following this completion of this game.
A little less than 2 hours from now. A little past 8 o'clock. All is well.
Salt Hawk football on KWBW Hutchinson. And also on HutchPost.com. Doobie, the center. Now we get set. The quarterback, Thompson. McEwen at fullback. Back to pass is Thompson. And throws it to the outside. A catch is made at about the 5 and stopped there. Just short of the 5-yard line. Hogan on the catch. Slow developing play. Stops it at about the 4-yard line. I think a quick timeout was taken again. We'll get a quick 30-second timeout. I'll bring 4th down situation for Hutchinson. See if they go with a field goal or not. And actually, they did not call the timeout, so I think they might be
they did
doing
call the
that.
timeout.
Yep, they did call the timeout to have time to set up for the offensive play. We're going to keep it here.
Had to stop the clock with just 4 seconds to go on the.
Now they're coming off as they did take that timeout. Now we'll get a break in. We'll be back in 30 seconds.
Hutchinson High School Sports is on the air thanks to these outstanding Salt Hawk boosters. Portfolio Recovery Associates of Hutchinson, Dr. Randy Smith of Appalachian Animal Hospital, the Wynn Insurance Group of Hutchinson, Summit Surgical, the Hutchinson Clinic, the Medicine Shop, and Jackson Meat. Hutchinson High School and Eagle Radio Sports thank these Salt Hawk Boosters for their continued support of Hutchinson High School athletics.
That's going to be a field goal try for Carter Booth. He's a good one. Has been all year long.
33 out of 36 on point after touchdown attempts this year.
They'll mark it right at the 14, so that is a 24-yarder.
This is from the left hash, a little different than an extra point.
Here's the snap, the hold by eye. The kick is blocked.
Oh,
it's blocked, and it's going to be a long touchdown run. It was blocked and picked up, and the worst thing that could happen on the play just did for Hutchinson. As taking it all the way down was Ryan Birch on the block. So the three-point conversion was blocked, and he took it the length of the field for 6. And just like that, Carroll up on top of Hutchinson, 20-14. And the momentum just fell off the sidelines of Hutchinson. How many yards did you give that?
Well, it was a 24-yard field goal attempt, but after he scooped it up, he probably scooped it up at about the 20-yard line, so I'd give him
about an 80-yard return on the field goal, block field goal. Number 32 took it all the way down there. That would be Ryan Birch.
That's a scoop and score. That's what you're trained to do when you block a field goal.
And a kick, the point after is good. Makes it 21-14. So 21-14 right there, Hutchinson, as we go to the locker rooms with Bishop Carroll leading by a touchdown, 21-14. We'll take a 2-minute timeout, add up all the numbers, come back to the Medicine Shop in-game capsule. Again, your score at halftime, Bishop Carroll 21, Hutchinson 14. We'll be back in 2 minutes.
Hutchinson Community College and Blue Dragon Athletics are proud to support the Hutchinson Salt Hawks. Whether you're working towards your degree or are a busy working individual with limited time to attend class, Hutch CC has what you're looking for. And for those still in high school, Hutchinson Community College's Step Ahead program provides a head start on a quality education, and it may not cost the student anything. Visit hutchcc.edu or call 888-GO-HUTCH for more details. And good luck this season to the Salt Hawks.
Welcome to the Hutchinson Medicine Shop. With the emergence of big business, not only in pharmacy, but all industries, the Medicine Shop is proud to be a thriving local business in Hutchinson. We're so thankful to our customers in Hutchinson, Reno County, and Central Kansas for your support. In turn, we're proud to be a major sponsor of the Hutch High Salt Hawks, as well as other area high schools, the Blue Dragons, Chiefs, Royals, Jayhawks, and Wildcats. You support us, and the Hutchinson Medicine Shop supports local sports.
Get the latest news, weather, and sports in one place. HutchPost.com. It's your one-stop news source powered by Eagle Radio. Plus, play fun contests. Save with big deals of Central Kansas. Get the latest ag news, daily obituaries. Keep tabs on your favorite sports teams, including the Salt Hawks and Blue Dragons. And be sure to sign up for the Hutch Post Morning News in your inbox. 24 hours a day, get news when you want it at HutchPost.com.
It's time to finish your taxes. Whether we filed your extension or not, bring your tax information to H&R Block and let our tax professionals ensure you get every deduction and credit you deserve. And our offices in Hutchinson, Lyons, and Ellsworth are open to assist you. Don't wait to file your tax return and risk penalties for missing the deadline. Make an appointment now and put our expertise to work for you.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back. 21-14, Bishop Carroll on top of Hutchinson at halftime. As you watch the pride of Hutchinson on the field, the Hutchinson Salt Hawk Marching Band. It's time for the Medicine Shop in-game capsule, a little like Hassel at 14th and Main. We talk a lot about them. They have flu shots. They got the pneumonia shots. Now, I'm not sure they have the HD variety in as of yet, but I know that we're out of it, but they should have it back in by this week. Afia Plus is a novel combination of plants found in the Middle East, and they have the CBD oil made out of that as well, and also They have some grape CBD oil that is grown and processed right in Rice County by Prairie Hills Hemp Company as well. Of course, also, like I said, they've got over-the-counter products, and it's time to get your flu shot if you have not planned that already. So that's what we have for your medicine shop. To talk about them a little bit, 14th and Main is where they're located. Great pharmacy. They'll deliver. They do a little bit of everything. Well, it started off with Bishop Carroll taking a right down the field to take a 7-0 lead with 9:28 to go in the first quarter of play. And then you turn around, and Hutchinson was able to answer back at the 3:35 mark with a 2-yard run by McEwen. After he'd taken it all the way down to the 2, Alec McEwen busts it in. Hutchinson gets the extra point, makes it 7-7 tie. And then we go with a 35-yard pass on third down and 19 from Needens to Holt Houston. The score was 14-7. Bishop Carroll goes up at the end of the quarter. And with 4:54 to go in the second quarter of play, 1-yard run by McEwen to make it 14-14 with the extra point. And just seconds ago, 4 seconds remaining, it was going to be a 24-yard field goal as Boo lines up for that, and all of a sudden it is blocked, and Ryan Birch took it 84 yards for a TD. The point after was good. That made it 21-14. And that's where we stand, Dan, is a situation where we thought we'd go up by a score of 21-14. Wasn't the case. Bishop Carroll took advantage of it, and nice run by Birch all the way down. Nobody could touch him.
It really was an impressive scoop and score. And I think we officially are going to have it at 84 yards. We knew it was somewhere between 84 and 75 yards. It's kind of tough sometimes on those scoop and scores to know exactly where a player picks it up. But statistically in that first half, it's pretty much even. But that 84-yard blocked field goal attempt, scoop and score for the last play of the second quarter, tips the scoring in favor of Bishop Carroll, 21-14 over Hutchinson. Bishop Carroll with 206 yards of total offense on 27 plays. Hutchinson, 199 yards on 41 plays. Hutchinson commanded the clock as they were burning clock between plays much of the second quarter. Hutchinson held the ball 15 minutes and 32 seconds. Bishop Carroll, 8 minutes, 28 seconds. Alec McEwen has 87 yards on 15 carries, 2 touchdowns. Hunter Trail has 85 yards on 9 carries and 1 touchdown. Miles Thompson, 7 out of 13 for 65 yards. Aiden Needens, 5 out of 9 for 62 yards. Pretty even first half of play.
Yep, that adds it up to a 21-14 lead for Bishop Carroll at intermission. That is your Medicine Shop in-game capsule, brought to you by the Little White Castle at 14th and Main. Great over-the-counter products they'll deliver. They'll plug in also right now at this time with Medicare Part D. If you want to see if you're a client of the Medicine Shop or not, take your medications in there. They'll plug them into the computer, and they'll tell you what's the best Medicare Part D program for you and what type of insurance you should probably switch to if you're not on it in the state of Kansas. It's free, doesn't cost you anything. Stop in and give them a try. You'll be glad that you did. We'll take a timeout. 1-minute break coming your way. We'll be back to talk with Denny Steckline with Hudson Community College and Marketing Department. We'll be back with more right after this.
Hutchinson High School sports is on the air thanks to these outstanding Salt Hawk boosters. Portfolio Recovery Associates of Hutchinson, Dr. Randy Smith of Appalachian Animal Hospital, the Wynn Insurance Group of Hutchinson, Summit Surgical, the Hutchinson Clinic, the Medicine Shop, and Jackson Meat. Hutchinson High School and Eagle Radio Sports thank these Salt Hawk boosters for their continued support of Hutchinson High School athletics.
Need to send someone money? Pay a babysitter? Split the bill? Use First Pay. It is the person-to-person payment option located right inside your online banking app. There is no need to download an additional application. It is simple, safe, and secure. We're first for you. Visit fnbhutch.bank to learn more, or click on your First National Bank app to get started. You can also stop into a location nearest you, and we're happy to help. First National Bank of Hutchinson, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Hi, everybody, and welcome back. We're at halftime, and the score is 21-14. Hutchinson trailing the Bishop Carroll Golden Eagles. Kind of a really weird turn of events. Joining me now is Denny Steckline. He's running the clock tonight. You have 4 seconds left. The worst thing that could happen would be that blocked field goal, and they take it to distance 84 yards.
You know, I jokingly said when I walked in here that I Googled worst-case scenario as I was walking down the hall, and it brought up a video clip of that. That is the last thing you're thinking of happening. You're thinking, okay, you get 3 points. 7 would have been great.
But that's playoff football.
It is.
Yep.
It is.
It's sometimes you don't see that happen. Let's talk about your role here. Well, first of all, you're director of marketing for Hutchinson Community College. It's been a weird year, to say the least.
Yeah.
But things are going kind of normal with the exception of sports for the college.
They really are. Knock on wood. Our plan is to get the kids to the Tuesday before Thanksgiving, face-to-face, and then we send them home and do finals afterwards. So we've got a little over 2 weeks to go. Knock on wood, things have gone about as well as we could expect.
Mm-hmm.
Never perfect, but it's gone pretty well. And we're just wanting to get to that point, get everybody out of here, get things ready, and reset for the spring.
Yep, get reset, and then we'll try to get sports underway. And I think the first game for basketball is January 22nd. I believe that's a Friday. And get going in that direction. And then also, of course, football doesn't get going until March 26th, and that's also, I think, a Friday. That starts, or Saturday, actually, and that starts off then. And most of those are going to be Sunday games, but that takes place. Your position up here tonight, and you have for many years helped out with the scoring table, the scores table, and help out with the keep the clock.
I do, and my clock thing is normally for Blue Dragon football.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin Armstrong called me earlier this week. They had somebody had to be out of town, so asked me if I'd fill in. I've done it a couple times this year. So, yeah, I do the start-stop on the game clock. It's a three-person operation with the game clock, then the scoreboard console, and then the play clock. So it's those three folks have to kind of work all together.
Yeah.
You really do, and you have to keep your eye on what's going on. And like with what I'm doing with the game clock, the most important person to me on the field is the white hat.
I was going to say, who do you look to the white hat? You look to a specific situation. Same way when you see the arms crossed when they're going out of bounds, where you stop.
Right, and typically when we meet with the officials before a game, whether it's high school or college, the white hat emphasizes anybody out here can stop the clock, but only I can start the clock.
Okay, so that's easy to pick him out and
so
know
you
where
keep
you're
an
going.
eye for him. And just have to know on any first down situation or what the situation, inbounds, out of bounds, you got to be watching for him to wind it.
Have you ever been in a snow situation where you have a hard time picking up that white hat down there?
No, we
really
haven't
had a lot of those.
We haven't had much snow in the last several years here at Gowans. But, there are some games, though, where, say, the white hat turns his back to the press box and is walking to get in position, and then he winds it.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't know if you saw him wind it or not. Or they just forget.
How long have you been doing that, working with the clock?
5 or 6 years. I think this will be my 6th season.
And of course,
and your partner here, Coach Knack, he runs the scoreboard
for college games.
Mm-hmm. College games.
And he used to be active here before we recruited you onto this side of the window, right?
I'm glad to sit next to either one of you at any time. We got to give Al Kolarek a little bit of a shout out.
Oh my gosh!
He works the clock for all Blue Dragon basketball games, all Hutch High Salt Hawk basketball games, and then he does all of the high school football games. And the one time he's not here, we invite the clock operator to come be on the air at halftime.
That's right. And I tell you, Al, nobody does it better than Al. Nobody does it. And his daughter's getting married this weekend, so I guess that's an excused absence, isn't it?
That's right.
Well, number one, he needs to check those dates because there's always that possibility.
That's right. Priorities.
Need to take place there. But it's such an important job that goes unseen until somebody screws up.
Exactly. And I always, somewhat tongue-in-cheek, tell people, hey, if you ever hear the white hat say, please reset the game clock too, that means he screwed up, not me. But, the one question I've always had, and nobody's been able to answer for high school football when I've done it, why don't we just set it for 18 minutes? Why do we do 15 and then have to set it for 3? Let's just go 18.
Exactly. That's a good point. And you're referring to halftime, the time to put on halftime. Yeah, it confuses this old coot up here because I look at it and I'm about to wrap up. At the same time, it's like, no, we got a few more minutes.
Yeah, you're thinking we got 3.5. No, we actually have 6.5.
Yeah, it makes a big difference. So how long have you been in Hutchinson?
Oh, well, born and raised, so I've lived here most of my life. After college, I lived in Kansas City for a while.
95 years?
Yeah, we were in the same class, weren't we?
Had to do with Methuselah, huh?
That's right.
So born and raised, and of course you went away to school. And were you gone a little bit after school?
Went away to K-State, and then lived in the Kansas City area for a few years after that. And my wife and I came back. She's a native as well. And, I'm not the Chamber of Commerce person because in high school and even when I went to Hutch Community College, I told people I can't wait to leave and I'm never coming back.
No, I think that just happens. But then family usually brings you back to some extent.
Yep. You get out, you get married, you have your first child, and you start realizing it's not such a bad place.
Exactly. I remember, we used to travel to Hutchinson when I was a kid. I was born and raised in central Kansas, but my mother ran she was a beautician, ran a beauty shop. We always came out to Peels to get her supplies.
Absolutely.
And, of course, the orthodontic work was done on me here and a couple other things. We had some relatives, but nobody, no grandpas or grandmothers. But I got out of Kansas, went to Texas, and then because of my parents and because of some ill health, brought me back to Kansas, and I landed in Hutchinson just because I always liked it.
Yeah.
Always came to the state fair, came to the national tournament, had some fond memories of Kansas, and that's what brought me back to Hutchinson, fond memories of Hutchinson, and that's where I settled in.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's been a great place to raise families and do all that stuff. And,
both our boys went through Hutch High and Hutch Community College, and I had an alert pop up on my phone earlier today. It was 6 years ago. Was my son Ryan's senior year, so they're playing football out here, and that's the year Ryan Cornelson's first year.
Yep, first year, and they went all the way to a state. And
I think they were 2-4, and then ran off 6 straight wins, kind of a magical run, and played against Dustin Delaney and Shawnee Mission East.
And of course, everybody remembers last time we played Bishop Carroll, we played them in 2011, lost to them in the regular season, but then won it in the playoffs, and that was a magical year as well, as Hutchinson was able to capture a state championship.
That's right.
So there's a lot of experience with playing Bishop Carroll, and Hutchinson coming into this one was 3-2, I think, overall on the whole thing. So makes it fun. But this has been a magical year. I know you've been following the Salthawks.
Yeah, absolutely. After 2 consecutive 2-win seasons, you just don't know what to expect. And things have really gone their way. They've played great football, and we've got a great competitive game going on tonight. Equally matched offenses. The defenses are doing their jobs, and each team has one stop. Is that?
Just about. And looked like Hutchinson was going to take the lead, but it went the other way. So we'll see if Hutchinson gets the possession in the second half. Let's see if we can bring it back and get it going.
I don't want to jinx it, but no turnovers.
There he goes.
I called it, though. I called the jinx. I did call the jinx.
Well, we're hoping before too long you can get your Wednesday noon buddy back for lunches.
I don't know if Hog Wild's going to let him in, though.
We're going to wait till maybe December, but we're hoping that's how long it's going to be.
Really?
Okay?
That'd be all right.
All right. Thank you, Denny. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Glenn. Thanks.
Denny Steckline, again, he is the Director of Marketing for Hutchinson Community College. Does a lot of stuff, both sides of the fence between Hutchinson as well as also here at the college as well. Also helps out the high school as he did tonight. We're going to take a quick 1-minute break, come back and talk about this second half of play. We'll be back with more right after this.
Basketballs are bouncing and crowds are cheering. Your best offense during cold and flu season is a good defense. Drink plenty of liquids, get plenty of rest, and keep your hands sanitized. If a bug still manages to get you, Ashcraft Pharmacy, your local Health Mart pharmacy, has over-the-counter medications that can help. Or if you need a prescription, we offer free mail-out, free delivery, or call ahead for our handy curbside service. Go Salthawks! From Ashcraft Pharmacy in the Hart Shopping Center, South Hutchinson, and Health Mart, caring for you and about you.
Forward, always moving, never stagnant. Together, nothing great is ever accomplished without it. At Fee Insurance Group, we've been working side by side with our clients for more than a century. Together with individuals, organizations, and communities, we look ahead to protect the people, places, and things they love. We're Fee Insurance Group. Forward, together.
Hi, everybody, and welcome back. Hutchinson trailing right now 21-14 with that 4 second. Well, it was less than 4 seconds by the time he scooped up the ball, but took it all the way down. That was Ryan Birch on an 84-yard blocked field goal to give them a 1-touchdown lead, Bishop Carroll. So this was brought to my attention. Now, you actually was a text earlier, but I didn't see it, is that Dusty Trail, the head coach of Bishop Carroll, played football at Hutchinson Community College back in the mid-'80s. And he was the former Blue Dragon, so he's familiar with Gowans Stadium. As, of course, it was a different Gowans Stadium than you see now. But, again, Coach Trail, back in the mid-'80s. Thank you to Rick Krause for pointing that out to me. Bishop Carroll will take to the field, get set to kick off.
I like Coach Trail's values that he instills in these Bishop Carroll players with the program: honor, courage, commitment, resilience. Pretty good things.
Yes, no doubt about that. So they will kick off. Hutchinson will send 2 men deep. It'll be Hernandez on the far side and Peterson on our near side back at the 5 to return. See if Trayton can get another 79-yarder here, huh? Had a great return last week.
The timing would be very good for a play like that.
And they're letting the clock click all the way down. Players are on the field already. And we're about set to get this second half underway.
Hunter Trail, 88 yards of rushing in the first half and a touchdown. Alec McEwen, 89 yards of rushing with 2 touchdowns.
Good matchup between those two today. And here they will tow it up at the 40 and get set to kick it off as we start the second half. Then Salt Hawk football on KWBW Hudson, Kansas. Trace Salzbrenner, our board op for tonight. Back at BW Studios. Appreciate his hard work. Here comes the kick. Puts a toe into it and all the way down. It's going to be taken by Hernandez at the 3. Angles to his right to the 20. Now speeds up to the 25, to the 30. Has some room. He's up to 40. 45 to the 50. Cuts inside, and he'll be corralled there. A great return by Hernandez. He's a freshman. Just got moved up to the varsity squad and showed his speed right there. And he'll mark it inside of Bishop Carroll territory at their 44-yard line. What a return, Dan.
That was amazing for any player, but when you're a freshman and you get that done, he showed great patience to find the seam and spurt through it.
That little opening kind of ran out of real estate at about the 44-yard line where they marked him out. 1st and 10, Hutchinson. That's trying to get that touchdown back. The give to McEwen. He's wrapped up. Nope, to keep on the outside. Excuse me. I thought he was giving to McEwen. It was not. As Hogan had it on the outside and
bobbled the pitch.
Yep, little to no gain on the play. That was such a good fake. I thought McEwen had the football. So 2nd down and 11. Just underway in this 3rd period of play. Glad to have you along. Glenn Grunwald along with Dan Nacarado, as well as Joe Blake on the sideline. Sarah Peterson running the video camera for HutchPost.com.
That Daniel Hernandez kick return to start the second half, 54 yards.
21-14, Bishop Carroll with the lead. Here's wants to throw it. That's going to be Thompson. Goes long. Has a receiver out there. Peterson's got it for 6. A long pass, a 44-yard touchdown pass to Peterson, and he was all alone. He got behind the secondary and put 6 on the board for Peterson. Wow. Joe, were you in the proximity down there to take a look at that one?
Oh, yeah, and Trayton was behind the defense.
6 yards?
He was back behind there quickly. Great throw by Miles. Hit him in stride. Perfect execution.
10:58 to go in the 3rd period of play. A 44-yard touchdown pass to Peterson. Here's the point after. The kick is up and on its way, and it is good. And we're tied at 21-all. Just like that, Hutchinson has answered with a great return on the opening kickoff of the second half, and then a long pass, a 44-yarder to Peterson for 6. 21-21 all. We'll be right back in a half minute.
Come gobble up the savings on your very own new hot tub at Pools Plus during our Thanksgiving sale. The Black Friday sale on spas lasts all month long, so get them while they last. Purchase your new American Whirlpool or find a spa today, and Pools Plus will deliver and install your new hot tub, and you can be relaxing before the holidays. Don't be a turkey. Shop local. Shop Pools Plus, 21 East 1st in downtown Hutchinson.
Call us at Pools Plus.
Well, boy, we've been saying that this could be a shootout, and you look back on it, Dan, if we get the score before halftime, and then you get this, that's a lot of candy and nuts, right? But still, right now, tied at 21. Great answer for giving up the touchdown right before halftime. We're tied at 21. It's even.
So far, that's the play of the game.
What a play by Peterson. Had him wide open. Was able to gather it in for the TD from 44 yards out. Here comes the kickoff from Hutchinson. He'll tow it long and all the way. Taken at the 15. Had to lean forward to get to it. Has some room and up and finally dropped at about the 26-yard line. Good hustle by special teams to get down on the stop. And leading the cause down there for Hutchinson was Maddox Hennahaw.
Miles Thompson now 8 of 14, 109 yards and a touchdown to his credit in this game. Getting it done through the air.
So let's see if the Hutchinson defense could make their adjustments after halftime and stop this potent Bishop Carroll offense. Again, Hunter Trail with 88 yards in the first half of play. Needens the quarterback. To give the Trail, nothing there as he gets across to about the 26.
David Waymeyer on the stop.
2nd down and 10. So no gain on the play. Brings up a 2nd down and 10. Hutchinson and Bishop Carroll in regional action tonight. Winner advances to take on either Mays or Mays South. Back to passes, Needens. Catch is made at the 30, but right down to a knee on the catch quickly was Noah Ferguson. Picks up a couple yards, give him 3 to be exact. 3rd down and 7.
The state calls this week's games regionals. Next week would be sectionals.
Sectionals, and that's basically you're still what? Is that kind of the quarterfinals?
Then they call it the sub. Yes, that's right. And then they would call it sub-state for the right to go to the state championship game.
Here we go. Needens back in the shotgun. He's a senior quarterback. Quarterback the last 3 seasons for Bishop Carroll. Throw is catches made at the 30 and caught from behind and dropped. That was, again, it would be Trail on the catch, and he was brought down at about the 41-yard line. Good enough for the 1st down.
Needens had to stand with some courage to make that completion.
Now they're going to set up quickly and go quickly. The give straight away running. And it's going to be Trail across the 45 up to about the 48-yard line. Mark it between the 47 and the 48. 2nd down and 4. So now Carroll substitutes. Tate Blasey will split wide on the left side. Trail sets up left of his quarterback in the shotgun is Naren. A give to Trail, and he breaks loose up to the 50, and he will be stopped after he gets across and gets the 1st down. They'll move it to about the 47-yard line of Hutchinson. So Bishop Carroll on the drive right now. Hutch needs to get a stop. They have on a couple of occasions tonight. But right now, Bishop Carroll moving the ball pretty effectively. Again, trying to set up the defense is Hutchinson. Trail moves over to the right side. There's Naren. He'll take it around power. Student body to the right and all the way to the 40 and all the way down to the 35-yard line. Great drive by Narens as he got the corner turn and then got more out of it.
Quarterback sweep. Don't see that play very often out of the shotgun.
So they'll mark it right at the 35-yard line. Another 1st down for Carroll. They'll split wideouts left and right. Sends a man in motion toward us. From the right to the left, over in the slot. They'll go with trips over there. Give it off the Trail. He's caught from behind by Hobber after picking up a couple yards. Brings up a 2nd down and 8. Jack Hobber just grabbed hold of him. Also, Emilio Martinez got a hand in there as well. 2nd down and 8 for Bishop Carroll. The Golden Eagles split wideouts left and right. Trips to the right side. Taking their time offensively. We're tied at 21 in the 3rd quarter of play. The give straight away running and diving all the way down to the 24-yard line was Naren, and he took it all the way. They'll say his knee hit just short of the 25.
Aiden Needens with the quarterback counter. He faked the pitch to his right and then ran it a little bit to his left.
3rd and 1. Gives off the Trail. He has the 1st down. And he'll mark it just across the 25 down to about the 23-yard line. 1st and 10 for Carroll. This is much like they started their first drive of the game, just methodically taking it down the field. So 1st and 10 for Bishop Carroll. Needon's the quarterback, gets the snap, gives it off the trail. It's a little bit. The pile moves to about the 21-yard line. Gets that first contact, and all of a sudden everybody starts crowding in, and it just looks like a pack moving right there. 2nd down, we'll call it 8. 2nd and 8 from the 21.
Officials timeout.
Officials going to take some timeout.
Got an offensive lineman tying a shoe.
Yep. Have to get the shoelace tied, and now they'll get set. That was big number. Havlovic, Gabriel Havlovic. Needens looks to the sideline, looks to his wrist. And now they get set. Snap is there. Throws it long as a receiver out there, and is it good for the touchdown? Nope. It is. He caught it. Yes, it was. Catching it over there again was Gallardo, Oscar Gallardo, for his 2nd touchdown tonight. Actually, it was his 1st touchdown. He had another long one that went all the way down.
21-yard touchdown pass.
It was right on the money. So the pass from Needens to Gallardo. Kick is up, and it is good. And just like that, with 6:32 to go in the 3rd period of play, Bishop Carroll 28, Hutchinson 21. We'll be back for the Carroll kickoff right after this.
Hutchinson High School sports is on the air thanks to these outstanding Salt Hawk boosters. Portfolio Recovery Associates of Hutchinson, Dr. Randy Smith of Appalachian Animal Hospital, the Wynn Insurance Group of Hutchinson, Summit Surgical, the Hutchinson Clinic, the Medicine Shop, and Jackson Meat. Hutchinson High School and Eagle Radio Sports thank these Salt Hawk boosters for their continued support of Hutchinson High School athletics.
Well, 28-21 here. Carroll on top of Hutchinson. Hutchinson unable to get the stop as Carroll took it down after Hutchinson had scored earlier in the quarter to tie it up at 21 all. 6:32 to go in the 3rd period of play. 28-21. Hutchinson down by 7. Of the 3rd quarter scores, Buhler 35, Rose Hill nothing. Mays 35, Mays South 14. Those are some other area scores that's going on. Of course, the winner plays either Mays South or Mays. Here's a kick return around the 15-yard line up to about the 20-yard line. Dancing his way over there is Hernandez. A little extracurricular, but they'll set it up right there. Hutch will have the ball at the 20. So Hernandez, a true freshman, has given Hutchinson some thrills tonight.
That return was designed to go to the right, but the kick was so well placed that he pretty much just had to get what he could over there on the left sideline.
And so little known by Hernandez on film from this year by any teams. If they looked at who they kicked to, you'd probably say keep it away from Peterson, right? So that's why he's been getting a couple kicks. So Hudson sets it up on the 20-yard line. And trying to get something was B.B. McEwen. He stopped just short of the 20, so loss of about a foot on the play. Check in with Joe Blake on the sidelines. And Joe, Hutchinson saw the Bishop Carroll march right down the field. They need to put a drive together of their own.
Yeah, and, they're still optimistic down here. They saw what they could do at the beginning of the half where they just marched down the field and scored.
Just do what you're supposed to do. Thank you. Joe's comments brought to you by Jackson Meat as well as Papa John's Pizza all season long. We appreciate having him on the sideline. Man of motion, Hutch can get the pitch out to him, and Hogan's trying to turn the corner, does at the 18-yard line, but drugged down right there.
Cade Gatchett, it's a nice play.
Normally, Hogan's able to get a few more yards out of something like that, but not the case. Actually lost a yard on the play. 3rd down and long, 3rd and 12.
Get the feeling that Hutchinson will need to create an extra possession for themselves somehow, some way, whether it's through a turnover or an onside kick, in order to claw their way back on top in this game.
3rd down and 12. Hutchinson's possession with 5:11 to go in this third period of play. We knew Carroll would be tough coming in. They're big and strong and played good competition this year. Here's Thompson trying to make something out of nothing. He trips forward all the way to the 28-yard line. He is close to the first down, but short by about a yard. If he could have kept one more step in stride, he would have been able to get that there. And it's going to be short 4th down. The call, 4th and short. See if they go for it or not.
The good news for Hutchinson is he turned what should have been a sack into a 10-yard gain.
Exactly. See if they go with the quarterback sneak or give it to McEwen on a quick opener. They'll come in and stack it inside. They cheat a little bit on the A-gap, and then Miles Thompson puts it across. He's 6'7", leans across and gets that yard easily. Brings up a 1st and 10 for Hutchinson just across the 30. They'll mark it at the 32-yard line. Another score of interest around here. Haven 12, Hutch Trinity 6 right now in the third quarter. I'd heard Hutch Trinity was without their quarterback tonight, their starting quarterback, and a wide receiver.
That 4th down conversion makes Hutchinson 10 out of 29 efficiency on 4th down attempts.
1st and 10, we'll say officially the 31-yard line. Quick opener, not there. Knocked back to the 30. Forward progress, though. Let's see where they mark it. That was McEwen on the carry. They'll say it's at the 31-yard line, so loss of about a half a yard.
Bishop Carroll crowding the line of scrimmage with their safeties again. That could open up the passing game for another big strike.
Hutch will huddle up. Now they'll break huddle. Dubia will lead them up to the line of scrimmage. Ragoza on that left tackle position. The pitch on the outside, loose ball. Hogan picks it up on the bounce, though, and can't get up to corner turn. He's dropped at the 25-yard line for a 6-yard loss. The ball came right back to him on the mishandle, but Bishop Carroll was back there defensively down quickly in that backfield for Bishop Carroll.
Hutchinson fortunate, though, even though they lost yardage on the play, that ball bounced right back up into his arms.
3rd down and long, 3rd and 17 is what the call is going to be. They got to get to the 38-yard line, 42-yard line, for a 1st down. They pulled one out earlier. Let's see if they can do it again. Thompson wants to throw the ball, steps up, gives it a heave, out of bounds it goes. Peterson was over in the area, but it becomes an incomplete and 4th down in a punting situation for Hutch.
In the 3rd and 17, Bishop Carroll that time put their defensive backs about 15 yards back from the line of scrimmage, and they had everybody covered. Miles Thompson had nowhere to go with the ball.
Stepped up and got away from pressure, and then heaved it, and they're putting some pressure on him. So here comes the punt. It's going to bounce and take a Hutchinson bounce across the 40 down to the 35, still rolling all the way to the 30-yard line of Bishop Carroll, and that's where it'll be down.
45 yards net on the punt.
So now it's time for the Salt Hawk defense to come up with something. Like you said, either get that stop or force a turnover. 28-21 is your score. Bishop Carroll with the lead with 2:28 to go in the third quarter of play. Special thanks to everyone that has tuned in tonight, both on the stream as well as on KWBW. We appreciate it very much. Have all season long. It's been phenomenal. Matter of fact, over 1,000 people watching right now on the stream. Gives straightaway running. Has some room all the way up to about the 40-yard line and picked up of 10 on the play. It'll be a first down. That's
a little short.
Just a short of it by about a yard and a half. Yep, it brings second down and 8. Nice run by Trail.
Well-executed draw play. Only 2 tickets allocated to each participant, and that's all the fans allowed at Gowans Stadium.
Coach Yantis and I talked. We'll wait till after this play. The quick opener, nice run by Trail, picks up the first down and more all the way up to the 46-yard line before he's tripped up. Coach Yantis and I talked about how with this 8-1 season that we've had in all these home games, this place would have been rocking if we would have been able to be full. So up to the 46, 1st and 10 for Bishop Carroll.
We're happy to bring the action to you, and we're glad you're tuned in.
Appreciate it very much, yes. And we will keep that same stream going throughout basketball season as well. They'll send a man in motion over to the left side. They'll set up. And Needens and Trail in the backfield for Bishop Carroll. Snap comes, and it's going to be Needens on the keeper on that left side, designed to run, and he gets some room all the way short of the first down to the 45-yard line. They'll bring up a 2nd and 1.
Last drive, they ran the quarterback sweep to the right. This time, they ran the quarterback sneak to the left.
Tell you what, you're getting some good blocking out there. Maddox Marcotti out there, 6'4", 250. He is a junior. Bishop Carroll has some big players on that offensive line to do the blocking.
It's a good team. Two good teams here tonight.
Benjamin Purvis, 6'3", 280. Give on the delay, straight away up the middle, and that's going to be Trail all the way down inside of Salt Hawk territory down to the 34-yard line. That'll move the chains.
Another open field tackle executed by Devin Hackney. If he didn't do that, Hunter Trail probably is going for 6.
Hackney playing well. We were worried about how his ankle was going to be. It's been pretty good tonight. 1st and 10. 41 seconds left to go here in the third period of play. Bishop Carroll leading 28-21. You go back to that blocked field goal attempt is the difference in this ballgame right now.
10-point swing.
Here you go, the Trail on the outside, knifes inside and flies forward. Here's a flag on the play. He's short of the first down by about 2 yards. But Hackney made the stop. Let's see what the yellow flag is all about. Comes from an area of holding is normally decided from, and let's see if that's what it's going to be or not.
Bishop Carroll's backing up.
They are. White Hat's going to come and tell us.
And this has been a long time coming. The Salthawk defensive staff and has been wanting this holding penalty to be called.
So the holding penalty goes against Bishop Carroll.
Usually Coach Mike Vernon tells his staff, don't be politicking for holding calls because if they're getting away with it, we'll get away with it.
43-yard lines where they're going to mark it. So 1st down and 20 now for Bishop Carroll. That might be the break that Hutchinson's needing as the clock's moving away. 20 seconds to go in the third quarter.
Most coaches prefer a game where there are not very many flags thrown.
And I think they're content to let the quarter run out here. And yes, they are. They're going to let it run out, and we will go to the fourth quarter. Your score as we go to the fourth quarter of play, Bishop Carroll 28, Hutchinson 21. We'll be back in 1 minute.
Hutchinson Community College and Blue Dragon Athletics are proud to support the Hutchinson Salthawks. Whether you're working towards your degree or are a busy working individual with limited time to attend class, Hutch CC has what you're looking for. And for those still in high school, Hutchinson Community College's Step Ahead program provides a head start on a quality education, and it may not cost a student anything. Visit hutchcc.edu or call 888-GO-HUTCH for more details. And good luck this season to the Salthawks.
Welcome to the Hutchinson Medicine Shop. With the emergence of big business, not only in pharmacy, but all industries, the Medicine Shop is proud to be a thriving local business in Hutchinson. We're so thankful to our customers in Hutchinson, Reno County, and Central Kansas for your support. In turn, we're proud to be a major sponsor of the Hutch High Salthawks, as well as other area high schools, the Blue Dragons, Chiefs, Royals, Jayhawks, and Wildcats. You support us, and the Hutchinson Medicine Shop supports local sports.
Fourth quarter of play, 28-21, Bishop Carroll on top of Hutchinson. This is Class 5A Regionals. The winner advances take on either Mays or Mays South. That game going on in the fourth quarter as well. And here it is a 1st down and 20. That foul, by the way, was from the spot of the infraction. And actually it's 1st and 19. Back to pass is Needens. Catch is made at the 38, wrapped up right away by Newquist, trying to strip the ball out. He couldn't get to it. The receiver gets a couple more yards when Newquist tried to get to the ball.
It was a good gamble, though, to try to strip him.
Mark it down to the 36-yard line. So Newquist with that club on his left arm due to the broken hand.
Jack Hobler has 8 tackles so far in this game. We probably haven't been giving him enough credit for all the good things that he gets done defensively.
2nd down and 12 for Bishop Carroll. Belly series, they give away to Trail. He gets away from the initial tackle, which was made by Jefferson, and he carries forward to about the 35-yard line. So 3rd down and long.
Hunter Trail now with 133 yards on 19 carries, 1 touchdown.
I'll give him about 4 more on that carry right there. Ball's on the 35, 3rd down and 11. Big play right here coming up for Bishop Carroll. Man in motion, right side to left, over in the slot on the left side. Needens the quarterback. Wants to keep the ball and roams to his left. Wants to throw it now, and he does. Arches the throw, knocked away and caught at about the 20-yard line. Looked like it went in and out of the hands of Hackney, but catching it over there on the far side was Noah Ferguson.
What a well-executed 3rd down conversion. I'll tell you what, their left tackle, Bishop Carroll's left tackle, number 76, you mentioned him earlier, Glenn Maddox, Marcotte.
He's huge.
That was amazing pass protection because the quarterback just set up right behind him, and he didn't let anybody through.
Nice catch over there by Ferguson. Hackney had an opportunity to get to it, but was not able to. They carry it down, and the flags fly everywhere. Ball to the 15.
Looked like a face mask.
So let's see exactly what it is. Of course, Joe Blake's on the opposite side, but a nice catch over there by Ferguson in between a couple bodies.
And the quarterback threaded the needle there.
Yeah, he sure did. Now the flag's picked up. Personal foul, face mask will be against Hutchinson. This will mark it down and carry with it an automatic 1st down.
Takes it half the distance to the goal line from the spot of the foul, or the end of the run.
Marks it at the 8, 1st and goal from the 8-yard line. So Hutchinson's going to have to tighten up here defensively. They'll trail by 2 touchdowns. 28-21. Bishop Carroll with the lead with 10:31 to go in the 4th quarter of play. We knew this was going to be a good ball game. And like you had indicated, Dan, a 10-point turnaround off of not being able to kick that field goal and have it blocked and picked up and returned for a touchdown right at halftime. That's really right now the difference in the ball game. Throwing it is Needens, knocked away right at the goal line. Good defensive effort over there by Hutchinson. Maddox Hennehaw right on top of it, knocks it away. 2nd down and goal from the 8-yard line. Bishop Carroll substitutes. They look to the sideline, get their signal in. Needens, the give to Trail, has some room. He's into the end zone for 6 from 8 yards out. Happens at the 10:21 mark of the 4th quarter of play. An 8-yard touchdown run by Trail. It makes it 34-21. Hutchinson trailing. Point after touchdown try coming. Here's the hold and the kick. It's up and on its way, and it's no good. Flags on the play, however.
False start.
It was on the dead ball, so they'll replay it and back it up a few. $10:21 to go in this 4th quarter of play. Hutchinson trailing it right now, 34-21. Here's the hold, the placement, the kick is up and on its way, and it is good. In your score with 10:21 to go in the ball game, It's the Golden Eagles of Bishop Carroll 35, Hutchinson 21. We'll be back with the Golden Eagle kickoff right after this 30-second timeout.
Get the latest news, weather, and sports in one place. HutchPost.com. It's your one-stop news source powered by Eagle Radio. Plus, play fun contests. Save with big deals of Central Kansas. Get the latest ag news, daily obituaries. Keep tabs on your favorite sports teams, including the Salt Hawks and Blue Dragons. And be sure to sign up for the Hutch Post Morning News in your inbox. 24 hours a day, get news when you want it at HutchPost.com.
Well, simple as this. Hutchins has got to get it going here with 10:21 to go in the contest. Down by 2 touchdowns, 35-21. Here comes the Carroll kickoff. It's going to be taken short. And Bearcats on the kick right there at the 34. Hutchinson will have good field position to start this drive. With lots of time left, 10:21 to go in the contest. Some other scores: Smith Center 21, El Saline 3, Wichita East 14, Manhattan 7. These are fourth quarter scores. Ark City 27, Andover Central 21, and Mill Valley all over Spring Hill 35-0. Hutchinson sets up their offense, and Dan, it's time to get the McEwen wagon going, and we haven't heard from Barlow much tonight either. McEwen's had an outstanding game. The pitch on the outside, and there they tried to turn the corner. It's McEwen across the 40, all the way up to the 45-yard line. That should get them going. As McEwen picks up the first down. Nice pickup.
You mentioned that Manhattan score. Manhattan really just barely got by Garden City last week.
McEwen set up in the slot on the far side, wide receiver slot. Now it's Barlow right behind him. Is to give to Barlow, straight ahead, running to the 50, all the way down to 45, still on his feet to the 40-yard line. They'll mark it probably at the 41. There's a quick opener to Barlow, and he carries it into Carroll territory with positive yardage to the 41.
You mentioned McEwen and Barlow, and back-to-back, they reel off pretty good games.
They'll set up Barlow at that fullback spot again. Stick McEwen out in that wide receiver slot. On our near side is Peterson. Here to get them to Barlow again. He's got some room all the way down to about the 33-yard line. Pickup of 8 on the play. They blitzed the gap right there, Dan, and just about got to the ball at the same time as it was handed off.
Yep, they gambled with linebacker Matthew Morrell, who has 9 tackles already in this game, but Barlow sidestepped him.
2nd down and 2 for Hutchinson. They send Blackwell in motion, but they bring him back down. They check off on the play. Now they get set. Again, Barlow at that fullback slot. Turn to give to Barlow. Straight away running, not there. Gain maybe a yard on the play. It's going to bring up a 3rd down and short. He was driven all the way back to past the 40-yard line, but his forward progress picked up about a yard.
Hayden Sage wrapped him up and just kept driving him backwards.
We'll call it 3rd and 2 from the 33-yard line. Peterson out wide left.
Hutch has to come away with a touchdown on this drive.
Keeper by Thompson has some room, has the first down. It's the 20. Hang on the ball, Miles, as he's going to be gang tackled and finally dropped at about the 18-yard line. 1st and 10, Hutchinson.
15-yard gain, Miles Thompson.
And that was vintage Miles Thompson on that option right there. 8:25 to go in the contest. Clock moving away. Hutchinson trails by 2 touchdowns, 35-21. Trying to get something going here. Man in motion. The pitch on the outside. Stutter step by McEwen all the way down to about the 11. They'll mark it right at the 11-yard line. So pickup of about 7.
8 minutes.
And 3.
Sorry, Glenn. 8 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Hutchinson down 35-21, but driving.
Miles Thompson up under Doobie in that center spot. The turn to give straight away running. It's going to be Barlow trying to bust his way through. Nice carry all the way down inside the 5-yard line. They'll mark it at the 3. It'll move the chains, 1st and goal from the 3-yard line for Hutch.
This drive started on the Hutchinson 30-yard line with 10:21 to go.
The give again to Barlow. He carries it into the end zone. Touchdown from 3 yards out. Barlow with the score. Happens at the 7:32 mark, and Barlow, that was fitting because he did most of the work to get it down there. A 3-yard touchdown run by Barlow.
Took a little bit less than 3 minutes for Hutchinson to drive 70 yards to put points on the board.
Here comes the point after by Boo. The hold, the kick is up and on its way, and it is good. Got it through there. 35-28 is your score. Bishop Carroll still leading, but Hutchinson cut that deficit in half. We'll be back. We'll do Hutchinson kickoff in 30 seconds.
It's time to finish your taxes. Whether we filed your extension or not, bring your tax information to H&R Block and let our tax professionals ensure you get every deduction and credit you deserve. And our offices in Hutchinson, Lyons, and Ellsworth are open to assist you. Don't wait to file your tax return and risk penalties for missing the deadline. Make an appointment now and put our expertise to work for you.
Well, it's getting exciting at Gowans Stadium. 7:32 to go in this 4th quarter of play. We'll check in with Joe Blake on the sideline. Joe, you've been wanting an onside kick all night long.
Yeah, and we're having a hard enough time stopping Bishop Carroll as it is, and it doesn't really matter where they start. They scored from 98. They've scored, on a short drive, so you might as well just try to get the ball.
And they kind of are maybe anticipating a little bit. They got 5 up at the 48. We put what's known as your good hands people up there, but let's see what they can do. Hutchinson's been successful this year. And there it is. It's the onside kick. It's going to be dived for and picked up by Bishop Carroll at the 48.
Well played by Hayden Sage to come up. He didn't let the ball go 10 yards. He made like a shortstop and just came up to field the ball before the. That's called playing the ball instead of letting the ball play you.
So it will be Bishop Carroll's ball now. And Joe made a good point. They've been able to score. Perhaps this will be a situation where you're still playing catch-up, but Hutchinson, better defense, step up right now, 1st and 10. Ball's on the 48 of Hutch. Bishop Carroll, quarterback, Needens, hands it off on a delayed draw. This time it's to Trail. He picks up 4 yards. Actually 3 yards.
Bishop Carroll shouldn't be in a hurry now. They should burn some play clock. And that's exactly what they're doing.
Nice job by Weathers to come up and help with that stop. 2nd down and 7. .7:01 to go in this 4th quarter of play. Here's the snap to give to Trail. Has some room. Trying to get loose and lunges forward to about the 42-yard line. Picks up about 3 on the play. So a 3rd down play forthcoming. 3rd and we'll say 4. This is a huge play from this part on the field.
Hutchinson defense will have to gamble a little bit here because they have to get the football back.
Maybe come with the blitz, do something like that. They show blitz, but back out of it. Down there and looks to the sidelines, gets set. He's got trips on the right side, tied on the line of scrimmage. Wide out top. The give on the outside on the end around, and there's going to be a flag on the play, but a nice run over there. And picking up the 1st down will be Gallardo, but let's see what the flag indicates. It came from where it could have been a hold situation.
I think there was a hold on the outside to set the edge.
So they'll walk back, and it'll become a 3rd down and 9 situation, I believe. Goes against Bishop Carroll.
That may make it a little bit more than that.
If it's from the spot, you're exactly right. They look to be marked at about the 47. So 3rd down and long from the 47, 3rd and 15 for Carroll. Now if Hutch can get a stop, it might not be 4th down territory. Back to pass, Sneedens, he's going to hit from behind and sacked.
Mason Weathers came so quickly, unabated.
What a play by Mason Weather. Knocks him all the way back. It's a 4th down and a long way to go for the 1st down for Bishop Carroll at the 39-yard line. So that's the play Hutchinson has been needing to get an opportunity here, maybe for a return for Peterson with 5:30 to go in the contest.
Hutchinson defense got their job done.
Here's the snap and the kick. It's a good kick. He'll stay away from the ball. It's going to hit at the 30 and take a Hutchinson bounce, and it's going to be at the 34-yard line. So Hutch has a chance with 5:15 to go. Pretty good field position. They'll set up officially at about the 34-yard line, 33-yard line with their possession here with 5:15 to go in the ball game. So let's see what the Salthawks can do. They trail by 1 touchdown at 35-28. We keep referring to the return, the block punt return. That happened with 4 seconds left when Hutch was tied 14-14 with Bishop Carroll. If the kick would have been successful, it would have made it a 3-point lead at halftime. Instead, they scored a touchdown on us, and Dan, that's where you come up with the 10-point turnaround. Right. That was a huge play, and that's haunted Hutchinson throughout the whole second half.
All other things being equal, Hutchinson would be ahead 31-28 instead of being behind 35-28.
Pretty major development. Chase Kepler has been pulled out of the game. I don't know if it's a concussion issue or what, but he's pulled out.
He's on the sideline, so we'll see. So Kepler out of the lineup, and now I think we had to burn a timeout, and we did. We'll take a quick timeout. 5:15 to go in the 4th quarter of play. Hutchinson trailing Bishop Carroll 35-28, but Hutch with the ball on their own 33-yard line. We return in a half minute.
Hutchinson High School Sports is on the air thanks to these outstanding Salt Hawk boosters. Portfolio Recovery Associates of Hutchinson, Dr. Randy Smith of Appalachian Animal Hospital, the Wynn Insurance Group of Hutchinson, Summit Surgical, the Hutchinson Clinic, the Medicine Shop, and Jackson Meat. Hutchinson High School and Eagle Radio Sports thank these Salt Hawk boosters for their continued support of Hutchinson High School athletics.
Well, we just noticed we have an injury on the sideline as Kepler right now being checked possibly for concussion as he had his bell rang. He's on the sideline, so we'll see who the Hutch is going to substitute.
Looks like Doobie moved from center to right guard.
Okay.
And then Schweigert came in to go to center.
So Schweigert.
Watch the snap then.
Here's the turn. Quick handoff. Nothing there. Thompson elected to keep it. Lost a couple yards.
You're always nervous as a coach when you have to put a new center in action.
They put extra pressure right there in the middle on that as well. But the intended handoff did not take place. Thompson had to hang on to it.
Schweigert's a good player, so that's the plan that works the best for Hutchinson, to move Doobie to guard and put Schweigert in at center.
So Doobie slides over to that right guard spot.
Hutchinson missing 2 starting offensive linemen out of the 5 now.
They've 2nd down and 12. Back to passes. Thompson sets up, throws, has a receiver. Catch is made by Blackwell at the 30, at the 42, all the way up to the 45-yard line for the 1st down and move the chains. Great catch by Blackwell.
You never count these Hutchinson Salthawks out of a game. All season long, they've found a way to get it done through adversity.
1st and 10, Hutch from their own 45-yard line. All right, setting up on that right side now is McEwen over in the slot. You got Barlow at fullback. Blackwell started in motion. Now he comes back. Now under center is Thompson. Turn to give to Barlow, straight ahead running up to about the 50-yard line. Picks up 5, 2nd down and 5.
No reason for Hutchinson to be in a hurry. If they can score on this drive, they have plenty of time to get it done.
2nd down and 5 for Hutchinson. Ball's right at the 50-yard line. Barlow's still in at that fullback slot. Send a man in motion. That's McEwen trying to turn the corner on the outside, and he gets a turn. Now he heads upfield, picks up a couple extra yards up to about they'll mark it right at about the 48-yard line. It's going to be short of the first down. He ran out of field, but then reversed his direction and picked it up, got it within 3. So 3rd down and 3 for Hutch. Big call right here coming up for Hutchinson.
Bishop Carroll had that play diagnosed, but Alec McEwen just found another way to make something out of nothing.
It looks like they're setting up Barlow at that fullback spot again. They want to throw it. Incomplete pass behind Peterson.
Ooh, dangerous.
Really dangerous.
Nearly picked off.
And it'll be 4th down, and it's got to be a 4th and go for situation for Hutchinson, I believe, but 3:22 to go. That was a play that, I don't know, I would think you maybe wanted it back.
Hutchinson does have enough time if they wanted to punt, but I got to go for it.
I think you got to go for it. And like I said, I think they kind of wish they had that play back a little bit, Dan, to run something else. But here we go. 4th down and short. Let's see if Bishop Carroll stacks it up on the inside, and I'm sure they will. Yeah, they're going
they have to
stack
burn
it.
a timeout.
And another timeout's going to be taken by Hutchinson. We will get a break in with 3:22 to go in the contest. Hutchinson trying to pick it up on 4th down and 3, trailing 35-28. Bishop Carroll with the lead. We'll be back in a half minute.
Need to send someone money? Pay a babysitter? Split the bill? Use First Pay. It is the person-to-person payment option located right inside your online banking app. There is no need to download an additional application. It is simple, safe, and secure. We're first for you. Visit fnbhutch.bank to learn more, or click on your First National Bank app to get started. You can also stop into a location nearest you, and we're happy to help. First National Bank of Hutchinson, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Welcome back. 3:22 to go in the contest. Hutchinson facing a 4th down and 3 at midfield, just across midfield. Actually in Bishop Carroll territory. The ball at the 48.
Barlow's at fullback. McEwen is at the R slot.
Ball on the right hash mark. Man in motion. The option on the outside. The catch is made, and the first down is made as well by extra effort.
All depends on where they mark it.
They're going to mark it just behind the 45. It is going to be very close, and McEwen rolled forward. But from this area, it looks like it is not going to be enough for the first down. They're going to measure again.
Total judgment call on where to mark him down. Tough call for the official to make.
And Hutchinson's magical season might be short in coming with 3:03 to go.
He might have made it, though. You never know.
You never know. That's what happened the other night. So let's see what it's going to be as they'll bring the chain out to stretch it. His point of the football is right at the 45, but is it enough? They'll stretch it. And it's going to be about 3 inches short. And Bishop Carroll takes over on downs with 3:03 to go in the contest, leading by a touchdown. Hutchinson was moving the football. McEwen just needed, of all the yards he's got this year, needed one more 3-inch push. And now Hutchinson defensively needs to step up and try to come up with the turnover if they can.
The game is not over yet. 3:03 to play in the fourth quarter. Hutchinson still has one timeout, but they cannot allow Bishop Carroll to pick up any first downs.
So 1st and 10 from the 45 for Bishop Carroll. Their own 45. Turn straight away, picking up a couple 3 yards, carries it up to about the 48-yard line. Pick up of 3 on the play.
Hutchinson went ahead and burned their third timeout there, I believe.
So a timeout's going to be taken on the field. We'll get another break in. 2:57 to go in this fourth quarter of play. Hutch down by a touchdown. Bishop Carroll facing a 2nd down and 7. We'll be back in a half minute.
Basketballs are bouncing and crowds are cheering. Your best offense during cold and flu season is a good defense. Drink plenty of liquids, get plenty of rest, and keep your hands sanitized. If a bug still manages to get you, Ashcraft Pharmacy, your local Health Mart pharmacy, has over-the-counter medications that can help. Or if you need a prescription, we offer free mail-out, free delivery, or call ahead for our handy curbside service. Go Salt Hawks! From Ashcraft Pharmacy in the Hart Shopping Center, South Hutchinson, and Health Mart, caring for you and about you.
With Joe Blake, Hutchinson needs to come up with something big right here.
Yeah, and 2nd and 7, you know that Bishop Carroll's probably going to run the ball, especially with Hutchinson having no timeouts. Got to gamble here to try to get that football.
Maybe come with the blitz. 2nd down and 8. Man in motion. The give straight away by Trail. He gets positive yardage inside of Salt Hawk territory, 2 to 47. It'll bring up a 3rd down and short situation. Clock showing 2:46 to go.
30 seconds on the play clock, so Bishop Carroll can run it down to about 2:14 before the snap.
Again, Hudson needs to try to strip the ball away, try to come up with something big. Again, Bishop Carroll's going to take that clock right down. If they're wise, it's at 10 right now. Clock down to 2:19. I'm saying play clock at 10. To keep this time, Needham's wide open. Around the outside, he has the 1st down and more. Trying to get around the 30 down to the 20. It's a foot race to the end zone, and he'll dive and score. So Needham's took it from 47 yards out on the touchdown run, and that's going to do it. 41 to 28.
It may have benefited Hutch for him to score there.
Yeah, possibly, but you're still down 2 TDs.
Chance at an onside.
Coach Randy Dryling and I always used to have that debate. Are you better off falling down at the 5-yard line and running the clock out, or are you better off taking the touchdown in that situation? With 2:05 to play, I can't blame him for going in for the score.
47-yard run by Needham's. And unsportsmanlike contact is going to be called against Hutchinson, I believe. That was a 47-yard run by Needham's for the TD. And 41 to 28 is your score as they try to point after. We knew this was a good football team. You look back on that 10-point turnaround, this could have been either by anybody's game here in the 4th quarter, and Bishop Carroll just took advantage of some Hutchinson desperation right there to try to go for it. And the point after's kick, and it is 42 to 28. The lead for Bishop Carroll with 2:05 to go. We await the Carroll kickoff coming your way right after this 30-second timeout.
Forward, always moving, never stagnant. Together, nothing great is ever accomplished without it. At Fee Insurance Group, we've been working side by side with our clients for more than a century. Together with individuals, organizations, and communities, we look ahead to protect the people, places, and things they love. We're Fee Insurance Group. Forward, together.
Well, Dan Nacarado, 2:05 to go in the contest, down 2 touchdowns. They're not out of it yet, but at the same time, you got to have a quick score, get that onside kick, make something happen.
That unsportsmanlike conduct penalty actually went against Bishop Carroll because they're going to kick off from their own 25.
And we knew Carroll was a good one. Their schedule was just brutal this year, including Miege and several others that they got wins over. Their losses were to Derby, and that was pretty early on in the season. And also they lost to Lawrence, which right now Lawrence looking pretty doggone good in 6A East Side.
Lawrence gets my vote right now for the best high school football team in Kansas.
So here comes the kickoff as we get set. See if Hutchinson, you pop one here. Who knows? That's going to be picked up and fumbled again and then picked up by Peterson. Turns it up straight up the field across the 42 to 41. And Hutch will take over right there, 1st and 10 from their own 41-yard line.
You hit it on the head, Glenn. Hutchinson has to score in a hurry. Try an onside kick, successfully pull it off, and get another score.
Got a final with Bueller winning over Rose Hill 42-8, so the Crusaders move on. Miege, a big winner over Fort Scott tonight, 63-12. Inman over Remington. Inman 50-6 over Remington. They advance. And right here, Hutchinson trying to make something happen with 2 minutes remaining to go in the contest. Down 2 touchdowns. Miles Thompson scrambling, trying to get out of the grasp, and he will not. He'll be buried deep, a loss of 8 on the play. Brings up a 2nd and 18 call. He was running for his life back there. They'll mark it actually at the 39. So a loss of 6 on the play. Or actually 7, 2nd down and 17. Minute and 35 to go. They're just bringing a house right there. He did not have much of an opportunity to set up with any kind of long throw, although that was the intent. Back to pass. He'll dump it away. The screenplay called again. It's going to be McEwen deep inside of Bishop Carroll territory all the way. They'll mark his out of bounds at the 45. Nice job by McEwen as he keeps working hard.
That's a good-looking screenplay to the fullback.
Minute and 15 remaining to go in the contest. Last score I had, it was Mays Big over Mays South, so more than likely it'll be Bishop Carroll moving on to take on Mays South next week in sectional play. They show blitz, back to pass. Thompson goes long, receiver out there, but Peterson had to look over his shoulder and would have had to make a miraculous catch to get to it.
He had him, though.
He sure did. Had him by a foot.
Peterson beat his man deep. That's incredible.
Whenever you got to do that, look over not only your left shoulder, but look straight up, see where the ball's coming. That's a tough play.
Could have made it kind of fun if he would have caught that.
It would have. 57 seconds left to go. Joe, we appreciate having you along this year on the sidelines. Appreciate it, buddy. Of course, you're a freshman down at Cali College. And you've been sponsored by Jackson Meat as well as Papa John Pizza. Glad to have you along.
Oh, yeah, and it's been a pleasure. Great year.
And, Joe, no matter where you go, whatever you do, you'll always be a Salt Hawk.
Here's the snap. Thompson back to pass, throws it, heaves it out there. Incomplete pass. McEwen, the intended receiver. Brings up a 3rd down and long.
Just the combination of that blocked field goal at the end of the second quarter, scoop and score for 84 yards by Bishop Carroll, and a couple of offensive linemen going down with injuries in this game.
And disallowed the last run by Narron as they were trying to key on something to make something happen. Take nothing away from Narron's run. It was a heck of a run, 47 yards.
Yeah, you put all those things together with the fact that Bishop Carroll is a very good football team.
Back to pass, Thompson squares up, throws it, catch is made by Peterson at the 41-yard line, short of the first down by about a yard. So that's more than likely we'll go for it here.
Big flag at the 50-yard line.
Yeah, sure is.
I think a little frustration. Little frustration came out.
So the flag's laying at the 50. See what the call is going to be. It'll be against the Salt Hawks. Unsportsmanlike against the quarterback. It'll be a 15-yard penalty.
Imagine they'll start the clock.
40 seconds remaining. Brings up a 4th down and a whole, instead of 1, it's going to be 4th down and 16.
Oh, they didn't start the clock.
No. They'll mark it at the 49-yard line. So 4th and 16 is the call. 40 seconds to go. Hutchinson down by 2 touchdowns, 42-28. Back to pass, Miles Thompson throws it across. Incomplete passes. Had Peterson out there, but it was pretty good coverage. And taking over now on downs will be Bishop Carroll with 35 seconds remaining to go. They'll just take a knee and they'll advance to, like I said, more than likely take on Mays in sectional play.
We wish the Bishop Carroll Golden Eagles well as they move forward in advance in the 2020 playoffs. And we certainly appreciate all the efforts of everyone associated with Salt Hawk football, especially those 30 seniors.
You are correct by that. This has been a magical year. Hutchinson's going to end at 8-2. Bishop Carroll to go to 7-2 on the season. But the ride was fun, and still proud of these kids. A lot of people didn't give them even a close to a chance against Bishop Carroll, but they're right here in the ball game more than what the final score will indicate. As taking a knee, and that's it. Now Hutchinson realizes that this game has come to an end. A lot of seniors. I commented on a comment that was made on Facebook regarding the fact that the majority of players, Dan, at the high school level, about 95%, when they lose that last game, they take those shoulder pads off and that helmet off, and that's their final football career, where other sports you're able to kind of recreationally go on if you wish to, such as tennis, basketball, all those type of games. But in football and tackle football, other than maybe some moving on to play in four-year schools, that's pretty well it.
You're exactly right. The finality of it hits players very hard.
And that is going to be your final. Bishop Carroll 42, Salthawks 28. Salthawks fall in this one in regional play, but what a great year it was, 8-2 on the season. And they'll get set to work hard in the offseason and get set to get it going. We're going to take a 2-minute timeout, come back and wrap things up. We'll be right back.
Come gobble up the savings on your very own new hot tub at Pools Plus during our Thanksgiving sale. The Black Friday sale on spas lasts all month long, so get them while they last. Purchase your new American Whirlpool or find a spa today, and Pools Plus will deliver and install your new hot tub, and you can be relaxing before the holidays. Don't be a turkey. Shop local. Shop Pools Plus, 21 East 1st in downtown Hutchinson.
Call us at Pools Plus.
Hutchinson High School sports is on the air thanks to these outstanding Salt Hawk boosters. Portfolio Recovery Associates of Hutchinson, Dr. Randy Smith of Appalachian Animal Hospital, the Wynn Insurance Group of Hutchinson, Summit Surgical, the Hutchinson Clinic, the Medicine Shop, and Jackson Me. Hutchinson High School and Eagle Radio Sports thank these Salt Hawk boosters for their continued support of Hutchinson High School athletics.
Hutchinson Community College and Blue Dragon Athletics are proud to support the Hutchinson Salthawks. Whether you're working towards your degree or are a busy working individual with limited time to attend class, Hutch CC has what you're looking for. And for those still in high school, Hutchinson Community College's Step Ahead program provides a head start on a quality education, and it may not cost the student anything. Visit hutchcc.edu or call 888-GO-HUTCH for more details. And good luck this season to the Salthawks.
Welcome to the Hutchinson Medicine Shop. With the emergence of big business, not only in pharmacy, but all industries, the Medicine Shop is proud to be a thriving local business in Hutchinson. We're so thankful to our customers in Hutchinson, Reno County, and Central Kansas for your support. In turn, we're proud to be a major sponsor of the Hutch High Salthawks, as well as other area high schools, the Blue Dragons, Chiefs, Royals, Jayhawks, and Wildcats. You support us, and the Hutchinson Medicine Shop supports local sports.
Well, football's a funny game, and many times things just kind of come to an end, and this is a situation like here. An empty feeling for the Salthawk players as they head to the dressing room. They dropped this one by 2 touchdowns. 42-28 was your final. It's time for the Medicine Shop in-game capsule. And I got to point out also, when the game was tied at the right at the beginning of the second half at 10:58 to go, a 44-yard touchdown pass from Thompson to Peterson made it 21-all. That is our Titan Home Services play of the game. Locked it up at 21 apiece right there. But then too much Golden Eagle for the rest of the game, as the big score also right before halftime is where you, instead of getting 3 on the board, you end up turning around giving up 7 with the scoop and go, as you referred to, that play made by Ryan Birch of Bishop Carroll to put Bishop Carroll up at halftime, 21-14. It's time for the Medicine Shop in-game capsule, brought to you by the Little White Castle at 14th and Main. We talked about flu shots, so important to get yours this year. Also the CBD oil that they have, both by way of orange cream and peppermint for different uses, as well as also help out with pain, anxiety, inflammation, depression, and even seizure control. CBD oil, again, from the Rice County Prairie Hills Hemp Company as well, helps out with that. Plus, great over-the-counter products and also great service by way of delivery from the Medicine Shop as we get set for the Medicine Shop post-game wrap-up. It all started with Bishop Carroll getting a 1-yard run by Hunter Trail the lead at 6-0. Point after was good, made it 7-0. McEwen answered with a 2-yard run at the 3:35 mark at the first, and we were tied with 7 after the point after touchdown kick. Then a 35-yard pass play from Needens to Hutchinson to make it 14-7. That was the end of the quarter, 14-7. Bishop Carroll with the lead. A 1-yard run by McEwen again made it 14-14 tie. Then he had the 84-yard blocked field goal returned by Ryan Birch to make it 21-14 at halftime when Hutchinson was trying to kick a 24-yard field goal. You turn around, you get the Peterson Titan Home Services play of the game, a 44-yard touchdown pass, 21-21 tie. Then you had the big run, a 21-yard pass to Galando from Needens again to go up 28-21 for Bishop Carroll. That was the end of the third. They tacked on an 8-yard run by Trail to make it 35-21, and then a 3-yard run by Barlow to make it 35-28. Hutchinson looked to be in control to try to come back and rally back and get a win, but that 47-yard run by Needens with 2:05 to go was too much to overcome. 42-28 is your final. What other stats do you have for us, Dan?
Well, let's talk about Alec McEwen. 134 yards, 2 touchdowns tonight. For the season, 1,741 yards rushing in 10 games, so I can do the math on that. 174 yards per game is a pretty good night's work, season's work for anybody. Alec McEwen also scored 18 touchdowns in 2020. That's a pretty impressive total. Jalen Barlow gained 38 yards and scored a touchdown tonight. Miles Thompson played fantastic all season. He gained 33 yards on the ground tonight, and he also completed 10 passes for 131 yards and a touchdown. Trayton Peterson caught 4 passes tonight for 58 yards and a touchdown. For Bishop Carroll, Hunter Trail did not disappoint us. 156 yards, 25 carries, 2 touchdowns. Aiden Needens from the quarterback position gained 126 yards on 14 carries and scored a touchdown, as you said, Glenn, on that 47-yard play that pretty much iced the game away. Aiden Needens also completed 10 out of 15 passes for 121 yards and 2 touchdowns. Matt Holthusen caught one of those touchdown passes, and Oscar Gallardo caught the other one. And then the big 84-yard scoop and score touchdown by Ryan Birch at the end of the first half. In total, Bishop Carroll racked up 403 yards of total offense. Hutchinson ran 70 plays tonight, which is a very high number, 360 yards. That 10-point swing on the blocked field goal, scoop and score, just a little too much for the Salthawks to overcome tonight.
Yeah, it really was a good competitive ball game. However, again, your final 42-28, Bishop Carroll with the win. It's going to wrap up the Medicine Shop post-game stats. Is a Medicine Shop at 14th and Main. They deliver. They'll consult with you as well. Bring in your medications, even if you're not a customer of the Medicine Shop, and they'll tell you, especially if you're a Medicare Part D patient, what should be used, and they'll be able to help you out in a big way. The Medicine Shop at 14th and Main, sponsoring of our post-game all season long. We'll be back with the Medicine Shop Coaches Show coming your way in just a little bit. Right after this, again, your final 42-28 from Gowans. Bishop Carroll a winner. We'll be back to talk with Mike Berner right after this.
You've been listening to Hutchinson Saltbox Sports on BW Radio. Our broadcast was brought to you in part by Ashcraft Pharmacy, the Insurance Group, Pools Plus, and the Hutch CC Business Office. Saltbox Sports is also brought to you by the Saltbox Boosters, Portfolio Recovery Associates, Apple Lane Animal Hospital, Edward Jones Financial Advisor, William Thacker, and the Hutchinson Clinic. Stay tuned. Our Coaches Show is next on BW Radio. Get the latest news, weather, and sports in one place. HutchPost.com. It's your one-stop news source powered by Eagle Radio. Plus, play fun contests. Save with big deals of Central Kansas. Get the latest ag news, daily obituaries. Keep tabs on your favorite sports teams, including the Salthawks and Blue Dragons. And be sure to sign up for the Hutch Post Morning News in your inbox. 24 hours a day, get news when you want it at HutchPost.com. It's time for the Coaches Show on BW Radio. A look back at tonight's game and a peek into the next action. The Coaches Show brought to you by the Medicine Shop. Our chat with head coach is next after this timeout on KWBW.
Welcome to the Hutchinson Medicine Shop. With the emergence of big business, not only in pharmacy, but all industries, the Medicine Shop is proud to be a thriving local business in Hutchinson. We're so thankful to our customers in Hutchinson, Reno County, and Central Kansas for your support. In turn, we're proud to be a major sponsor of the Hutch High Salt Hawks, as well as other area high schools, the Blue Dragons, Chiefs, Royals, Jayhawks, and Wildcats. You support us, and the Hutchinson Medicine Shop supports local sports.
This is Mike Vernon, third-year head coach for the Salt Hawks. And, Mike, this has been a magical season. We just ran out a little magical dust out there. You take away a couple big plays, and this one could have went either way. And 42-28 is your final, but really this game could have went either way down the stretch right there. You look like you're going to take the lead at halftime, and instead to give up the big 84-yard kick block, and then you turn around and had the opportunity, pull within one, just couldn't get it done. Congratulations on a great season.
Thank you.
Tough ball game. Let's talk about a little bit what they did. What did they do to us that we didn't know they were going to do, or exactly they're a good ball club.
Yeah, they're good. I mean, they executed. I thought that we executed. We just had a couple of mishaps, and in a game like this, you can't have those little hiccups, and we had a couple hiccups tonight, and it cost us.
Probably the biggest would have been that scoop and score, as Knack talked about, and that's just one that just gets to you. He was able to get it, and it's one thing to get a block. It's another thing to have a run back on you.
Yeah, that one hurt. Yeah, it was not good. But we scored right before that, and then got the block in the back, and so those little things, and it ends up hitting you. And the kids fought hard though, and there wasn't any quit, and just like they always do, and it came down to an inch, and it's just our way, I guess.
Bishop Carroll looks to match up against Mays. That'll be next week in the sectionals. But you look back on the season, lots of bright spots and not very many lows. It's been a good season.
Yeah, the kids have done great, and just unbelievable effort and determination and grit. That's the thing that I'm going to remember about these guys is just their grit and just the unbelievable resolve that they have.
Yeah, some good seniors leadership out there. Miles Thompson along with McEwen, Barlow. There's many to talk about, but you got some kids returning as well that are going to try to get some things done next year. But talk about those special seniors.
Yeah, so there's just too many to even discuss. But, Fan, Miles, Waymeyer, Jack, McEwen, there's these guys, Emilio Martinez, Mad Dog, Weathers with that big sack, there's a ton of them.
Then you look on the defensive side, you got Hauber and several others that are outstanding.
Trayton Peterson,
yeah.
And, these are all great kids, and, that's what makes a program is the kids, and they've just, they've been great, and they've been some of the hardest workers I've been around, and whatever they need in life, I'm there for them.
We're going to take a quick time out, come back and talk about the off season, what's planned for the Salt Hawks. We'll be back again, your final 42-28. Salt Hawks fall to defeat to the Bishop Carroll Golden Eagles tonight in regional play. Golden Eagles march on to take on Mays next week in sectional. We'll be back with more right after this.
The medicine shop, when you drop your prescriptions off, the personal care you'll find there will make you feel all better. The meds you need, delivered with speed, the lowest prices guaranteed. Get your prescriptions with no hassle at 14th and Main at the Little White Castle. You'll feel all better at the medicine shop.
Mike, talk about your off season real quick on what
Can I
needs
just
to get
get
done.
a couple names?
Sure.
That because what about Dakota Thompson? And then, what about Barlow and Blackwell?
Mm-hmm.
God, I love those guys.
Did an awesome job and attributed to those.
Carter Young,
you betcha. So contributed. Let's talk a little bit about the off season. Also, when your field goal, your extra point kick, Carter Boo came in and did a great job. Let's talk a little bit about the off season. You don't let it dally too long. You get to work in the weight room, and that's kind of where it's won. And you guys made a giant step this year to go 8-2. These kids played their tails off, and now you look for another group of Salt Hawks to come up.
Yeah, so we'll max out next week, and then we'll get back in it. So, I mean, second try starts in another week, so, we'll go back through our cycle, and we'll do what we do. Coaches, off season, we're going to have to take another 360-degree look.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we didn't get it done, so, we're going to have to tear apart the program and see what we need to improve upon.
But it's been a really exciting season for us up here. We appreciate to be along for the ride. We were just able to paint the picture, and you guys are orchestrate the great wins, the come from behind wins that we had this year. These seniors, even though they're lost and they're hurting right now, they're going to probably wake up tomorrow and think about, hey, it was a pretty good season.
I'm going to remember them forever. I mean, it's a great group, and the town should be proud of them, and I know I am. So
no doubt about that. Thank you, Mike. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it very much. We're going to take one more break, Dan, and I'll come back and wrap things up right after this.
You've been listening to The Coaches Show on BW Radio. The Coaches Show has been brought to you by the Medicine Shop, 14th and Main. Thanks for listening to Salt Talk Sports on KWBW Radio, 1450 AM and 98.5 FM.
Well, Mike, of course, pointed out a couple things there, Dan, that you just had to slip away from you, but a tough loss. But I look at the whole season right now, and that's where you got to go with it. Lots of people to thank, especially station personnel. We appreciate it very much. Appreciate Trace on the board tonight, Trace Salzbrenner. He and Stu Haddad got the job done this year as well on the board back at BW Studios, and we've had a lot of fun, a lot of viewers. We appreciate all the viewers that stuck with us all year long, and this one just came out wrong short on the scoreboard, but number one in our hearts are those Salt Hawks out there.
Again, 30 seniors on this Salt Hawk football program, and we can't thank them enough. We appreciate all the time and effort that everybody associated with the program puts in to making this happen, and we certainly appreciate all the fans that tuned in every Friday night with us. And Glenn, personally, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Of course, Sarah Peterson, a senior on the video photographer, and she did a great job. One time we had 1,000 views. They say you get 2.5 people for every view that you get. So last week we had 3,500 viewers, which means close to 10,000 views on Facebook and on YouTube, and it was up there tonight as well. I hope they entertained you like we were entertained throughout the whole season with the numbers. And again, COVID-19 made us more important in that regard to be able to bring the game to people that weren't able to physically come to the game. That's the great part of technology, a bad part of COVID-19, but it worked out good in that regard. Plus, you can go back right now and watch this game on YouTube. All the games on YouTube. We'll have highlights out this weekend as well. So great job done. Joe Blake on the sidelines. Appreciate everything that he did on the sidelines as he's coming back each week from Cali College. That's a big effort for a young man that wants to go into broadcasting. I think he's got a good career ahead of him as well. We hope to have him back next year. Got to do some talking to him, see where he's going to be. Anyway, and as always, Dan, we appreciate what all you've done. So station personnel, again, Terry Drewer, great job done as the general manager, Ben Waters as the sales manager, Rob Dreher, our program director, Mark Atkins, our assistant program director, operations manager, is Pat James. Couldn't get it done without all those folks. And, of course, Nick Gosnell, scoreboard, is coming up in about 20 minutes, so that's going to make it big as well to catch all the action throughout the state of Kansas. That's been a big plus this year that we added at the beginning of the season. Not that far away from basketball. December 8th is when it starts. I hope it gets going then. There's been a lot of talk that Acacia's looking at whether or not it's going to have that start. I believe it will. We don't know what precautions will be put in place with COVID-19. It's been a crazy year, but hopefully we can get basketball going. It should be a lot of fun with Brian Miller in his first year as well, and Connor Riley as well. We'll be talking with him with the girls as well. So that'll be here before we know it, Sam, but we get a few weeks off.
Appreciate everything. Coach Ted Webster, a great friend, a good man. Appreciate all the things he did as coach, and we certainly wish Coach Brian Miller well, as he is a Salt Hawk and coming back to Hutchinson High School to coach now. 2020 has been a crazy year, but one thing that we could count on every Friday night in the fall was a great night for football.
Yes, it was, and it turned out to be a great night. And this game turned out to be a great game, and Bishop Carroll, very fitting. They'll do well. They take on Mays, and Mays was a big winner over Mays South. I miscalled that. I thought Mays South might be able to get Mays, but Mays won 59-27. Capon, a big winner over Goddard tonight. They advanced in 5A. 38-15 was the final in that one. And Junction City with a huge win over Washburn Rural, 70-25. That's from some other final scores. Nick will have them all put together in just a little bit as well on the KWBW Scoreboard Show. Appreciate Nick Gosnell and all the work that he's done to bring those scores to you each and every Friday night. So on behalf of my partners, Dan Nacarado, as well as Joe Blake and Sarah Peterson, Glenn Grunwald, your host tonight. Again, your final from Gowans Stadium. Bishop Carroll, the Golden Eagles 42, the Salt Hawks 28. So long, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.